Hello and welcome to episode 3 of our midlife crisis. My name is Natsu,
We're
and I'm joined,
we're back.
oh yeah, once again by my voice of
We're back
reason,
once again.
Murphy. How are you,
Hello. Doing great. Doing great.
man?
Glad to be here as always.
Yeah, it's so much. I actually look forward to this every week now. It's just
Oh,
we
I do too.
game and yap, Mr. Game and Yap.
Heck yeah. You gotta, you get that. I don't know. I feel like just getting that long social commentary out of my body just feels good every week.
And everybody else, whenever I try to have a serious conversation about the industry or anything like that, people are like, "What the hell are you doing?" I like video games, man. There's a lot going on in the industry,
Video games are good.
or in nerddom in general.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be video games. It could be any topic in nerddom,
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
and
say,
we will
yeah, well, I'm saying like,
yap about it.
and I won't even like. Of course, Andrew might actually listen to this now and be like, "I got you, you bitch," but it's like I'm actually really enjoying Magic, but insofar as like because it's
Yeah,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy, you know what I mean? Like
Exactly. It makes a big difference.
it makes
It
a huge
does.
difference. Like I'm
Whenever
actually
you
enjoying myself.
find, yeah, whenever you find some subject matter that like makes you a little bit more invested,
Hmm.
it makes a big difference.
It absolutely does. Um, I'm pretty addicted to like the packs and now like deck building. Um,
Yeah, yes.
so I've got like, first of all, how were your boosters? How did everything shake out?
It really, really well. I got some stuff that I was really happy to get. I didn't get the one thing that I was really looking for, which was the Lightning Army of One card.
Oh, I think I do have
Um,
that card.
which Hop ended up getting two of them.
Oh, so he's gonna send you one then, right?
One with the alternate art.
Oh,
So I don't know. Depends on if he wants both arts or not.
uh,
but uh, but yeah, that's the one card I like really, really wanted. But I did get a lot of stuff that I was pretty happy with. So
so like I said, I was gonna spring kind of some things on you, and this is kind of one of them. Is like I want in the theme of Final Fantasy and kind of Magic in general, like
uh-huh.
I've been opening up a lot of cards and like the nostalgia for those cards or for some of these characters just really sinks in deep. Like I showed you
Oh,
the You're Not
totally.
Alone card. That one got me right in the feels. I
Yes.
literally had goosebumps when I freaking opened that card. I'm like, that's amazing because I had no idea it was there.
That's the best thing about it too is I didn't look at any of the Magic spoilers or anything. I mean, I had seen like some of the pre-release cards, so I was
Hmm.
kind of spoiled on some of them, but man, just being able to see some of the cards that they did do and some of the art that they used, and oh man, it was just I don't know, it was just happy that every single pack I just yeah, you get that wave of nostalgia. They did a good job. They did a good job.
Yeah, that one for sure hit me right in the feels. And so I want to talk about like, do you have a favorite character in each Final Fantasy? Like one that you really kind of vibe with and every single one
Oh
that
yeah,
you've
totally.
played? And so I guess
Definitely.
we'll start with 13 because we already talked about Lightning. But like, who's
Yeah.
your favorite character in 13? Is it Lightning?
Uh, it is definitely Lightning. She's just it's she's just she's such a dynamic character, and she goes from being this you're not really just the typical like feelingless soldier type person, and you can really start to see her coming out of her shell as she starts trying to find her sister and having to deal with Snow and having to kind of be a mom figure for Hope after Hope's mom dies. If you haven't played the game, sorry,
Yeah.
spoilers there.
Whatever. It's
But
friggin' old as hell.
yeah, it's old. But this it's just that's definitely my favorite. Lightning's definitely my favorite character. She's definitely I'm pretty sure she's my favorite main character of any of the Final Fantasy series. Um, I I very much enjoyed her as a character and playing her, and even in all the sequels as well, on 13.2 and whenever you get to 13.3 and you play Fashion 13.
Fashion 13,
Um,
yeah.
it's just fun. It's a good time. But yeah, I liked Lightning as that's my favorite character in 13.
I really like Lightning. Um, because yeah, like so okay. Might be treading some old ground here, but whatever. When I played Final Fantasy 13 as a result of the extra life bit, Um,
Wasn't my fault at all.
no, well, it kind of wasn't. At least just threw down, and then no, I have to play some extra
Right, right.
13. But uh, I had this like preconceived notion about 13, like, and it wasn't even like because I had played it before,
Yeah.
but um, it wasn't even like it was my notion, right? Like I just didn't enjoy it because of the battle system, and I really let that get in the way of my enjoyment of the characters for
Sure,
13.
sure.
And so
It yeah,
when I
keep going.
played it, I just really enjoyed like like at first it's like, okay, well this person is literally just female Cloud. Um
Yes. Yes.
and at the time Remake had come out, and Remake had given a lot more personality to Cloud, and so that allowed me to open up my mind to like what Lightning was, and I really liked her.
Sure.
I really enjoyed Lightning. I actually my favorite character in the game is actually Snow, and that's because of
Yep.
basically like 13, kind of the beginning of 13.3, and the kind of this tragic character that he turned into.
Yeah, oh, totally. I think it's I like the fact that 13 kind of was given the legs
Hmm.
story-wise to really develop.
Hmm.
Whereas, a lot of times, even like at the end of the original Final Fantasy 7, you're kind of left to assume, things that are, was this good? Was this bad type thing?
Hmm.
Of course, now that we have the remake stuff, that just adds to it, right? But yeah, I'm just that's one of the things about 13 that I love so much is that it kind of was given the legs to kind of grow as a story in general. But Snow's a great character.
I just really, and I just like Troy Baker did that character, right? Like,
Yes,
and
I'm
he
I'm
was
pretty sure you're right.
yeah, he was so good. That was before I actually gave a shit about who voice actors were, so good for you, Troy
the
Baker.
um and I know a lot of people have their qualms with just about every Final Fantasy, right? Everyone
Hmm.
has their favorite and their worst, but yeah, I don't know. I think all of the characters in Final Fantasy 13 were just they were I don't know. It just they had their enduring qualities.
Yeah, like I didn't think
The
Hope was that bad. You know who ruined that for me
yeah,
was
most
Denzel.
most people have their problems with either Vanille or with Hope, right?
But I
Um,
think both of those characters
and
are really awesome.
oh, they're so good, especially whenever you get the whole sisterhood thing with Fang and Vanille in
Hmm.
Final Fantasy 13. It's just so well done, and what their kind of trials are they're going through and having to deal with
Fang's a total
being
badass too.
from
I loved her. She was
oh
always in my party.
totally yep and them having to deal with being from Grand Pulse and having to experience Cocoon for the first time really, and it's just so good. The whole kind of story
Hmm.
with it, and I feel like also Final Fantasy 13 is one of those games that if you've played it more than once, it starts to make more sense.
I feel
Just
like there's a
because
lot
of
of Final Fantasies or a lot of games like that too, though, which
yeah,
isn't a
I
bad thing
agree. I agree.
necessarily.
No, it's not a bad thing.
So, like a
Um,
perfect example of that was like Final Fantasy X, right? You play If you
yes.
play Final Fantasy X for the first time, you're just mad at the laughing scene because like you're like, this is stupid. But
Yes.
then you play Final
Yes.
Fantasy a second time, and you're like, this is like heartbreaking.
Yep. Yep. And I and 10 is one of those games where you're just I don't know, it just hits you right in the feels, especially when you play it the second time.
So I
It
agree. So I was definitely locked in, trying not to die there.
I was too. Those I was like I should not be get hit by these lasers. Uh, but yeah, it's that's just one of those things where I think that the downfalls for 13 is the story is a little confusing. Some of the characters are when you first meet them insufferable. So it's just I understand the criticism that the game gets, but I think those are also the things that I like about that game so much, I guess. So
Yeah, I
but yeah,
really did enjoy it. The only thing that really made me fall off of it was the combat and basically sitting there like a pylon while like an elephant tramples me to death. When I could be like, why did you move into that? Like, you moved into that by yourself. We could have avoided that altogether, but we didn't. Instead, I just died.
Yeah, yeah. I think that combat's one of those things in. I mean, every Final Fantasy, right? They try to do something different.
And
yeah. The thing that I do like about 13 is I do like how the combat system functioned as a like you could quickly switch your paradigms quickly, back and forth, and you being like, oh, this is when a damage event is happening. It felt more active, I guess is the best way to put it, and that's kind of why Expedition 33 is so good, is because you're reacting to the combat, and I felt like 13 really provided something like that, where you were reacting to what the enemies were doing real time. More so than kind of waiting your turn per se. So I thought that that's kind of the reason why I like that combat system so much.
Yeah, okay. I just liked the characters a lot, and that's why that's the big reason I kept playing. And so
yeah,
I will give you kudos because I really enjoyed Lightning. Speaking of those characters and Fang and Vanille, did you see the Fang Vanille like transformation card?
Yes, and actually, that was one of like so I had a Fang card from really early, and I was like, oh, these are uncommon. I'm sure I'll end up getting the Vanille card to match this. And for the longest time, I hadn't had it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go with this half card. I'm not gonna get this Vanille card, but I did end up getting it in like the second to last pack I opened. I was very very happy with that. So yeah. I was honestly happy with all of the 13 cards. They did such a good job.
Yeah.
With I mean, every Final Fantasy was so good. Every single one that they did in Magic the Gathering. So
I got the Fang card as well and the Vanille card. I might try and build a deck around it. I think there's talk like of us potentially doing like a commander like out of Final Fantasy cards. Andrew was trying to.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think we're doing that, like you and I and Andrew and maybe Ashley.
Cool. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I know that. I think Megan also has a deck that we would like to try as well with that. So.
In that theme, then, like, yeah, I enjoyed. Do you have a favorite character? We'll go up from there. We'll go, like,
yeah.
Do you have a favorite character from 12 or from 15? Or are you just like not?
We're going up or down?
We're going up. We're going up. Sorry.
Okay, so
15 and 16 or 14.
So do you want to count? Do you want to count 14?
Not really.
Yeah, I think that
the biggest problem to me is 14 feels like an MMO, and so.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it definitely has more story than most MMOs for sure. But yeah, we'll skip 14. So 15. I had a tough time with 15. I felt that, and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to justify my choice here, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the best part about 15 is the road trip, right? I mean,
that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the road trip. I love the brotherhood that all the characters have together. I would say that Gladiolus is probably my favorite character.
All right.
Of the group of guys of the boy band.
How come?
I think it's, I don't know, it's really hard because Ignis is also really good.
I was gonna say, yeah,
he's cooking his food the whole time. But I don't know. I feel like, Gladiolus kind of being the voice of reason type character, and maybe not the voice of reason, but maybe Ignis is more the voice of reason.
I think Gladiolus is just like this hard ass on Noctis. Like that was, I think.
Sure, he definitely was like he was definitely like he's almost kind of a role model of
Mhm.
sorts for Noctis,
Mhm.
and this is the type of person that, yeah, I don't know, he's literally loyalty incarnate type person,
Mhm.
willing to do anything for his friends. And I don't know, I feel like that's the character trait that I just liked in him so much, and all of his, I felt like a lot of his dialogue just really kind of put that home to you.
I think one of the things that made me kind of really like Gladiolus is when he snapped on Noctis. I forget what he did it for when he did it, because it's been so long since I played the game.
Yeah,
But I,
it's been a bit for me.
but I remember like he put Noctis in his place because he basically offended um Ignis. And they're
Yeah.
they're like, we're doing this for you, dipshit. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
I think the tough thing that I had with Final Fantasy 15 was the fact that the story was unfortunately split between so much media
Mm-hmm.
that if you didn't read the books and if you didn't watch the movie,
Yeah, Kingsglaive or the
and
anime.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, or the anime, you're kind of you're kind of left in the dark a little bit. The episode Arden stuff that they added was definitely needed, and I'm sad that it wasn't a part of the original game, because that really added a lot to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and having I feel like Arden as a enemy was just fantastic.
Yeah, I think he was
So,
really good.
also a fantastic card. I don't know if you got an Arden card, but
I do have an Arden card.
yeah, pretty awesome card. But yeah, I think Gladiolus is probably my favorite character in 15.
Yeah, I liked Ignis. I just liked him being the voice of reason. He literally embodied that like dad energy,
Sure.
wise
Yeah.
dad. Which is, yeah, it kind of what Noctis needed, like just a voice of reason, you know, dad energy. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Exactly.
I do so dislike the fact that like so much of the game was like DLC required, right? Like,
Yes. Yes.
and so much of the story was like you don't really get to know Ignis until you play episode Ignis. So
Yeah, you really don't. I mean, and especially whenever they changed, didn't they change? I feel like they changed a lot of the combat around in
episode
the Royal
Gladiolus,
version.
yeah, they did.
Is it?
It's very
Yeah,
different.
it was quite a bit different from the original to that, and it definitely, as the game aged and they kind of fixed a lot of the problems that the game had, it definitely got better.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfortunate for the game itself, but I mean, it was still a great story. I guess the best way to put that.
Yeah.
So.
Now, what about your favorite character in 16?
So my favorite character in 16, I mean, Sid is pretty great.
Yeah, I love Sid.
It's kind of hard to I mean, honestly, uh all of the primes, isn't that what they're called, the primes? All of them
Dominance.
were, yeah, the dominants were so, they were just so good. Every one of them kind of embodied that Esper or that elemental summon, and it was so, I don't know. It's really hard. It's really hard to pick. I think Sid's probably my favorite though. That kind of gray area character that you interacted with, and Clive, I don't know, took to him very well. He was just a really well written character, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
He's Sid, right? So
he is the Sid
yeah,
of the game.
I think yeah, exactly. So I think that yeah, I'm pretty sure that he'd probably be my favorite.
Mine's
Without and without saying that, it's Clive,
Yeah.
but I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
say
how
it's
much I
Clive.
did actually like Clive. So
I really liked Clive. I just thought his whole story was so cool. Obviously the twist or whatever, I say that in air quotes. It was really obvious, but it doesn't matter because it was still a growth opportunity. I'm pretty sure it was a marketing beat for the Xbox like release version of the game too, right? Like,
yeah, I think you're right.
yeah, face the truth. Yeah, like that was
Yep.
it was yeah, it was I love Clive. I love the whole tragedy around it. I like the end, like the ending makes Clive's kind of show a lot better. Oh man, I'm just not paying attention. Um, I like how like kind of seemingly helpless he is at the beginning, and he just grows into his role.
Yeah, I agree.
And
You
so,
can definitely tell that uh he's kind of almost in denial,
Mhm.
and trying to protect Joshua and taking so much responsibility on his shoulders.
Mhm.
And uh yeah, he really does grow really well as a character. And the story, I mean, once again, I mean, Final Fantasy stories are so good. Um, but yeah, his character growth was done really well.
Mhm. Yeah. So, and you know what? It doesn't hurt that Ben Starr voiced him, and like it was kind of like a breakout role for him,
Yeah,
and he's just so good. Like,
yeah, he is, and now I feel like he's everywhere.
he really isn't though, right? But he is and he isn't. I think he just has a very big social
I think
media presence.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think I see him everywhere more than
Yeah.
anything, right? I feel like he's like, at least in all the media that I seem to immerse myself in, he just seems to emerge
Yeah,
from
for
those
sure.
areas.
Yeah, I definitely feel like yeah, you're right. Um, I do feel like he is kind of everywhere, and he's in like a lot of my favorite games for this year, like First Berserker and
Yeah,
Claire Obscure. So like, but he really isn't in a lot of things. He's just kind of prevalent. I think
he
he just has
just,
a big social media friends, and he
yeah,
really likes
yeah,
Final Fantasy and especially Final Fantasy 8.
yeah, yeah. That makes a big difference.
Go wait for the boss, or
I wanted to check and see if maybe there was something through the door that we could get quick to
sure.
heal. Maybe.
Yes. So go Final Fantasy 16. Good luck on Xbox. Nobody buys games on that platform.
Yeah. Hopefully it does well.
I hope it
Because
does.
it only means good things.
Means more games.
That's exactly right.
Oh, I screwed up. All right, so let's drop down then to Final Fantasy 12. And in my
Okay.
opinion, there's only one right answer, but
uh, I like Fran and Balthier, so
yep, that is the right answer.
I mean, it's so strange. Like 12 is strange, right? Because you're not really playing the main character.
No.
So kind of a
Is the
good
main character
twist.
really the main character though? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
really? Oh.
So it was definitely a fun twist. I mean, Vaughn was great, but he was definitely. I felt like the thing that I had the hardest time with in 12 is I felt like Vaughn was kind of he was kind of immature to a fault, right? And I know that was kind of the point of the character, but it was really difficult to kind of play through that character that way.
Mhm.
It was hard for me to connect, I guess, with it.
It really does feel
But
like Bosch and Ash are the stars of the show, and Vaughn is just kind
definitely.
of there as like a
Hmm.
conduit to meet these characters.
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like you as the player are Vaughn
Hmm.
because you could literally just not be there.
Yeah.
Almost those characters can do the story themselves.
Now
So
his stats are great. He's good to
his stats are
use.
great.
but
He's a great character.
you don't have an arc. Really?
Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, both here and Friend, so good. I mean, just, I mean, the whole, I love Friend as a character is definitely one of my favorite.
They
favorite
just
Final Fantasy
exude
characters.
presence. You know what I mean? They're on
They
the
really
screen
do.
and
I
they
mean,
just like, you know how you have those movies or whatever, whenever, or like those games, whenever someone's in on the screen, you can feel their presence. You know?
yes.
Sid was that character in Final Fantasy
Yep.
16, right?
Yep.
And and then actually similarly, like someone like Verso or even I would say Minoko are those characters in Claire Obscure, right?
Yes. Yes.
For this,
Yeah.
for
No,
these
definitely.
games, it's definitely Fran and Balthier. Like they just have that
They are.
presence, and it's awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, they're sky pirates. I mean, it's just they're just it's just like everyone wants. I mean, it's like Han Solo, right? I mean, it's just a great fun character. Really hard to not like. So yeah, Fran and Balthier by far in Final Fantasy 12.
And that's what I mean. Those are the right answers.
The only correct
correct answer was Fran and Balthier. So I'm glad you got that one right.
Yep.
So 11 is also one of those games that just do not count. So I went the wrong way. So then we go to 10.
10. I mean, I think Yuna probably has the best story in 10. I think that the tragic story of Tidus is great and all.
I just hate that he's
I think
Tidus, by the way.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time I called him Tidus.
I mean, I think everybody did, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Yuna's, I feel like all of the weight that Yuna has to carry and everything that she means and the amount of pressure that's on her, really, they did a really good job of making that character they made you feel what the character kind of had to go through very well. And going through the whole journey and being a part of her pilgrimage and seeing all the people and how they react to her and her having to, I mean, there's just so many great things about Yuna and what she does. And it's almost like everyone else, I mean, everyone else is literally there to support her. But even more so having, Tidus being there as that extra emotional support that she really needs. It just makes it really kind of full circles her story very, very well.
Oh, dude, it's the Yuna show, and I couldn't agree more. I really do think she is in like the same way, like Ash and Ash and Balthier, or not Balthier, Bosch are the
Bosch,
the main characters in Final Fantasy 12. Yuna is the main character in Final Fantasy 10, and you can't tell me she isn't.
Yeah,
so
I mean, she really is. She really, really is.
Yeah, she's a great character, and they do a great job. And like I said earlier, like the more you play that game, or the more often you play that game, you really kind of appreciate like what she's dealing with, especially
definitely.
like a second playthrough. So no, I 100% agree with the Yuna pick. I don't know if her magic card is any good because I don't know enough about magic, but
it's supposed to be pretty good.
So
it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
I did not get a Yuna card. I'd love to have.
I don't think I got a Yuna card either. But yeah, I really enjoy Yuna, and I think and I just like that the whole game is built around her. So she's like forced to be the main character.
It really is.
If you don't like Yuna, you suck.
If you can't accept that Yuna is the main character, then I'm sorry.
All right, Final Fantasy 9.
I love Vivi in Final Fantasy 9. I love his design. I I love everything that he has to kind of go through, and he just kind of grows up. You see him grow as a character from a child practically into something more.
He's like forced to grow
And
up too. And goddamn, his
yeah,
magic card's good.
it's so it's so heartbreaking almost whenever whenever you see his story, and it almost kind of feels like he almost kind of feels like a main character in like or one of the kids in Gundam. Honestly, it's almost like that type of tragic innocence, having to deal with everything, right? So yeah. I think that Vivi is just by far my favorite character in 9.
My favorite character is Zidane, and probably my favorite main character in the entire Final Fantasy franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think just has a lot to do with like his personality, the way he carries himself. He's not too serious unless he needs to be. It's very relatable to me.
Right.
And so I like his upbringing. I love his story, the way he's like he's basically like a brother to the main villain, essentially.
Yep.
Who he was actually like sent there to like basically fuck shit up. Like he was there as a conqueror. It's just got that whole like that whole vibe. Yeah, I just like his story and his character, his personality, and that's why I'm so excited. Now I will say, and if Elise is actually listening to this, like another like a very close runner up is actually General Beatrice.
Yes.
I think she's awesome. Her card's dope. I think, but like whenever I didn't know she was in the Magic the Gathering set until I saw some pre-release content, and it just made me so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I think the best part, kind of going back to Final Fantasy MTG in general, I think honestly one of my favorite parts about this whole set is looking at it and being able to build a set around one of your favorite characters.
Oh, for sure.
That's just that's like one of the coolest parts of the set, and being able to be like, oh man, I'm gonna build this set around Vivi, or I'm gonna build this set around Kuja, building a bunch of wizards, or just so great. And they hit the themes on the characters so well with their abilities. So that's I love it.
Yeah, it's really awesome, and it's making it really just like I think Dave went back and played all of the Final Fantasies, or a bunch of them.
Really?
Like he was playing 6 and he's going through, I think he played 16 and stuff like that. And I'm kind of in the same boat where I like it almost makes me want to replay them, right?
Yeah, I'm exactly in that spot right now where I'm like, I really, really want to go back and play through 8. I want to go back and play through 9 really bad. I'm probably not going to play 10 for a while, just because I played through 10 about 3 years ago. I had a rough go at it again, so I was the 10 is probably one of my. It's one of the ones I have the hardest time enjoying to play again. The story is the thing that drives me through the game. Everything else about it, I'm just like, I don't know why. I just can't.
Yeah,
I just can't do that game for very much.
I love that game so much. But I understand, because that's 13 for me.
It shouldn't be 13. So much good. That's how good it is. I can't even build a proper sentence. Yeah, that's how good it is.
Yeah, I think I agree, and that's kind of why I'm really enjoying everything to do with this Magic, and why I'm so excited, and why I've gotten so addicted to just like deck building and even packs itself. Like grabbing a pack here and there has been pretty fun. Or like I've bought so many packs from the local shop that they actually give me a discount now, so I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So I don't think my wife would think that's awesome, but whatever.
No, that's a good thing. That's an awesome thing. Right, don't listen. Oh, Courtney, it is a great thing. If you come back and listen to the VOD, believe me, great things.
Feeling low. So 8. it's the next one on the list.
Yeah, so I really like Quistis.
I was gonna say Quistis.
Um, I think I want to say Quistis. I do like Squall as a character. I do. I do like Zell as a character. But if I'm going to go favorite, I think Quistis is probably my favorite character. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice to have a. It's nice to have a character that is a teacher figure that grows that knows the character and kind of grows with you as you move along.
The youngest teacher ever, by the way.
Yeah, youngest teacher ever. But yeah, I think all of her insights while you're playing through the game and just dialogue is great. There's just I don't know. There's so many great things about the character. It has been quite a bit since I played through 8, which is kind of why I'm having this hankering to play through 8 right now. But yeah, I think Quist is probably my favorite character.
I think so. My favorite character is actually Cypher.
Okay.
I think his what drives him, the competition between him and Squall.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's really good, and it really kind of builds him out. And he's just this tragic figure, in the game. He just seemingly can't get it right. So yeah, I just really enjoy that part of his character arc. In the opening scene, it just kind of sets the stage for all sorts of just tomfoolery. So yeah, I enjoy Cypher. I do. So in terms of the main characters, I think I was gonna say Quistis as well. So just not to retread old ground. I really do like Squall. I do think it takes a little bit of kind of warming up to get into him as a character.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Squall has but I think that's definitely a character design thing that they were kind of going or like more like character arc design, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's definitely one of those characters. I think that you're kind of supposed to be kind of annoyed with
him as a character.
With him as a character. Just so you can eventually kind of come around to who he is, or be a part of his journey and maybe be a little bit more invested in what he's doing as a character.
Yeah. All right. So now I was gonna say Final Fantasy VII. Because I do think there's different answers depending on if you play the classic version and if you play.
Yes, there definitely are.
Like the remade version. So we'll kind of just dig into one of each.
Okay.
And so for the classic version, who's your favorite?
So in the classic version, my favorite character in the classic version was Vincent. I thought he was super cool. I thought that his story was awesome. I thought that he provided just that he was just that dark brooding character, that he kind of bucked the mold of the group, and he kind of provided that different, I don't know, that different vibe or different aspect to the group that wasn't really there. And it's funny, that he's an extra character, but I feel like he really rounded out the group as a whole, as you're playing, as part of the group. So I think I loved him as a character. And I also liked the fact that he was a secret character, and you had to take the time to get him and do all that stuff, and he could turn into beasts, and there's so many cool things about the character. So
I definitely. And I'm so happy that they didn't treat Yuffie and Vincent the same way in the remake.
Oh, I agree.
Because them being just like extras or whatever, it really doesn't do them justice.
No, not at all.
They're so fleshed out. So yeah. In the original game, my favorite character was Tifa.
Okay.
And a lot of that has to do with like the way she's portrayed as like a very caring figure in the classic game, like basically sticking with Cloud,
Yep.
being there as like support, as like a memory support basically,
Yep. Yep.
not giving up on him even though like he's saying some crap that just clearly isn't true.
Yeah, it's obviously not right. She's definitely worried about him.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good things to like about Tifa as a character in the classic for sure.
And a lot of that doesn't manifest until later in the game,
Yeah, it really
which is
doesn't.
um, after like basically where we leave off in remake, right, or rebirth. So
Yep. Yep.
lots of ground to tread still in
Definitely.
that game. And
We've
then
got a long way to go in that game for
yeah,
sure.
it is. It's kind of crazy. Now, I do think I think it's a little condensed, or it'll end up being a little condensed, which is
Yeah, I think so.
fine. But who knows? You know what? Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, we've got an entire game for it, so I think we will be happily surprised with what we end up with.
Yeah, I agree. Now what about Final Fantasy VII, like remake / rebirth?
I think I mean Brianna White is. I mean, the Aerith in Rebirth remake is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a good character. I mean, I can't get enough of every interaction that Aerith has with every character. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
her interactions with Barrett are so good. Her interactions, especially in Rebirth with Tifa, are just phenomenal. Her even the conversations she has with Red 13 being, they have had similar reactions to what's going on in the live stream and everything, and it's just I don't know. I can't get enough of Aerith as a character in Rebirth, and they portrayed the character so well.
I definitely think a lot of
The
that
voice
too is
actors did.
the way Brianna does the character. She's
Oh,
so
totally.
incredible, and
It's an amazing performance, and it's so I feel so lucky to have her play as one of the most important characters in one of my favorite games of all time. That
mhm.
just it's just could not get enough.
She definitely deserves it. Everything she like, all the accolades, everything she gets. I think she was incredible. Not my favorite
Yep.
character. Um, that goes to Red 13. So,
Really? All right.
I really like him in this character in this game. I love the like sneaky kind of like voice thing they do with him. So like
Yes. Yes. Oh man, that whole that whole bit where I was like, "Who is this?"
yeah.
I love that they held that for so long.
Mm, I like it. So yeah, Red 13, big fan of him. I like the way they kind of dealt with him. I love his voice actor as well. So he does King in Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh, I actually
Um,
did not know that.
so yeah, he's just awesome. So he does a really cool idea. And that's why I like him. I just like, and so that's a big part. I love, like, one of my favorite parts in the game is actually the Cosmo Canyon part.
Yes.
The way it's just completely fleshed out. You go in with Barrett alone this time, which is fine.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And so, um, yeah, I really like it. I really like
I
Red 13 and the way they fleshed him out.
I did too. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on about Rebirth. So I will try to hold my enthusiasm
Mm-hmm.
for another time when it comes to those games.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this kind of leads us to some of the older games. Final Fantasy VI, which is like a seminal game in the series.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
I have a hard time with 6, I'll be honest.
Mhm.
I actually have not I played through all of 6 when I was a young lad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I played it after I played 7 and 8, and I honestly don't remember much about the game because at the time I didn't appreciate it for what it was, and I really wanted to be playing a 3D game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I haven't gone back to it since, and shame on me for not doing so. So I honestly could not tell you.
Okay. Well, Terra seems like the answer, obviously, but I like
Sure.
Locke. So I just like his, once again, this is like the Zidane thing. Um,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, I just really like Zidane as a character, and Locke being kind of like the exact same thing almost, except not as fleshed out. Um, yeah, I just really enjoy it. I really like him as a character. I think he does a great job. I think he's fun. Um, he's got that kind of, that badass with the heart of gold mentality, and so
Yeah.
that's why I'm a big fan of him. So, but like, I do want to say like Kefka as a villain is just phenomenal.
Yeah, Kefka is a villain. I mean, I love the build up, that the story had in general when it
Mhm.
came to just what you're doing. I feel like the impact that party had on the world was done so well, and
Mhm.
yeah, they really Kefka once again. I feel like it the game had a lot of legs to be able to tell its story, whereas a lot of games nowadays don't really have that opportunity. And I
Mhm.
felt like Final Fantasy VI just kind of had so much content, so much story.
Mhm.
There's so much going on in that game, that being able to get to that, you know, ultimate last boss feeling of what Kefka was, I feel like it really paid off in the end with all of that.
Well, it also has the like, it was basically the birth of the materia and arguably the junction system.
Yeah, no, it really was. There's so many great ideas happening in that game, and how much influence the game had in general
Mhm.
on the entire series.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it is a seminal game. So I thought it was worth mentioning. I would love to go back and play it. I'm probably going to when my daughter is born. In case you didn't know, we are
Yeah,
having a
yeah.
girl. Uh, we just found out
You
this
told
week.
me. No, you did not tell me then.
Hmm.
I knew that you were having a child. I didn't know it was a daughter though.
Hmm.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. So probably play some Final Fantasy VI. I didn't play much Final Fantasy V. I don't know if you did.
I didn't either.
So
I
okay,
didn't either.
I
I
did. I
played
played a lot of Final Fantasy IV.
I played a lot of Final Fantasy Adventure on the Game Boy.
Jesus.
As for my favorite character on that, couldn't tell you. I don't think at the time when I was playing that thing,
Hmm.
I had no idea what an RPG was at the time. I loved it because there was a story. Did I comprehend the story? No, I had no idea what was happening. I've also not gone back and played it, but I played it.
Yeah, I never played Final Fantasy Adventure. I did play, like I said, I played a lot of Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you did.
Nope, never did.
Love, oh, love Cecil. He's the main character. Like, probably my second favorite main
Mm.
character. Like, just the whole Dark Knight Paladin. It does suck that I feel it at first. It feels like Cecil just gets weaker at the beginning of the game or whatever. So that's not cool. But I just like
Man,
his whole arc. So go Cecil. Go get him, champ. All right. I don't think there's much worth talking about the rest of the characters, to be honest, the rest of Final Fantasies, unless you have like a favorite thematic character like Firion from Final Fantasy 2. He's pretty cool. But
Thematically, I mean, I'm going to go back to 13 here because I think Saz from 13 is so fun.
I like Saz,
and I just think there's so many great things about 13 in my opinion, but I love Saz.
I like Saz.
I like that.
I like
his
gestalt. That's so good.
Yeah, his gestalt is great. His voice actor is phenomenal. It's so good. But in general, just him, I just like that he's just this like, this upbeat dude. He's got a chocobo. He cares about his kid.
Yeah.
Yep. I just love the character. So yeah, definitely honorable mention for myself for Saz for me for sure because I love that character.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like Saz. I do like a lot of the characters. Oh, you're back with me. Okay, let's keep.
Yeah.
I do like a lot of the characters in Final Fantasy 13. So, his card is cool too. I like Saz's.
Yes, his card in the MTG is great.
So, I don't know if it's worth building around. I don't know enough about the game. That's kind of like one of the things I've been struggling with, I guess, as I just don't know enough about the game. But I understand like some of the the ways to play and
it
build.
Kind of depends on what you're wanting to do.
I really only want to play with Final Fantasy cards, so
I mean that's very very similar for me. But I feel like it just kind of depends on how you want to play Magic. Because for me, I personally like decks that are very thematic, like Saz's deck. It's a bird deck, right? You build the birds and you do the bird things. So having him as a gosh, fell off the cliff there. So I don't know, having him as a commander and having a whole bunch of birds come out. I mean, it sounds great. I mean, that type of deck is right up my alley. So I think it just depends on what you want to do. Kind of like the Kuja deck, having a bunch of black wizards being built.
I have the makings of a wizard deck right now, and I have so many options available to me just because I have so many cards now to build a deck. I just haven't gone through all my cards yet. I've gone through all of my whites and greens, so that's. I still have a couple colors left, and I just started my reds, but then I actually had to pay attention in a meeting, so I had to do my job.
Yeah.
So, like once again, Mike, if you're listening, just ignore what I'm saying.
I think that's my favorite part of MTG in general, being able to build thematic, fun decks that just do the thing. Like that's I just want to build a deck that does the thing. Oh, I'm gonna summon a whole bunch of birds. As long as I got to do the thing that my deck was built around, then I'm happy. Whether I'm winning or not, sure, whatever. But at least as long as I get to do the thing that my deck is supposed to do, I'm happy. So
I'm building I think the deck I'm going to try and build first is like a knight deck. Like a white green knight deck.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because
did you get a Dion card?
It's in the mail right now. Andrew sent it to me.
Oh, cool.
I literally need that in order for my deck to come online, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially for if you're gonna do a night deck and because I did see I got a Dion card as well. I was like, oh man, this would be kind of fun to do a night deck with Dion. So just another I think that's one of the best parts about this whole set is because it's characters that I know, it's characters that I love, and it's characters that I want to build a deck around to make those characters do the thing. I think that's why I like it so much. So.
Yeah, I do have the knight deck. Ooh.
That would be a fun one to play.
So I'm gonna give it a shot. I have a lot of equipment cards too. Like I got an Ultima weapon in one of my packs. Cool. I have an Excalibur, a couple of Excalibur 2s. So.
Oh, nice! I didn't get an Excalibur 2. I got a Buster Sword.
Oh, really? That's a good card.
Yeah, I got a Buster Sword. I got a Paladin's. I did get a Masamune. I got a Paladin, the Paladin like artifact from Final Fantasy 14.
The orange one or whatever.
Yeah.
That one's really, really, really good.
Yeah, so an equipment deck is definitely on the plate for me as well.
Mhm.
I just don't have a commander for it, so
I
I have
have
to
a
kind of
the cloud commander.
yeah.
Not from the commander set, but from the starter set. So apparently,
Oh yeah.
so
I think I need to pick up the starter set.
you should, because that's where I got my Ultima from. That's where I got Beatrice from. Um, oh god, that does a lot of damage. Um, yeah, so that's where I got my Beatrice from. That's where I got my Ultima from. Um,
I can see that.
and it also
Yeah,
comes with
I think I need to go
Cloud
grab
and
one.
Sephiroth. Not
Yeah,
like
I think I need to grab one.
the good ones, but I think the Cloud's pretty good.
They're still good.
Mm-hmm. And it's cheap.
Exactly.
God, I have not been picking up a lot of money.
Yeah, I've been like trying to grab obols, but yeah, I don't feel like we've really had the opportunity to build a lot. There was a large Sylphon vial in there.
Wandering Minstrel Landfall Town deck.
Yeah, so Megan, I did get a Wandering Minstrel for Megan, and I built her a commander deck using the Wandering Minstrel. I don't know how good it is, but I stuck every town I possibly could in that thing.
So I might as well
and
ask about some of these rules. Can you like have multiples of one town? So like if I have 2 Ishgards, can I have 2 Ishgards, or can you only have one town?
If you're playing a commander format, no.
Okay.
But though they are coming out with a new commander format here very soon, to where you can, and it doesn't have singleton rules, so that will be interesting.
Oh, that'll be awful because I've only put like singles. I haven't sleeved all my doubles yet.
So, but no, if you're playing commander, no, you have one of each named card pretty much. You can't have multiples of any card. So,
but towns count towards your land count, right? Like,
yes, but you can have as many lands as you want.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's 37 or something like that, or 38 is like the sweet spot, right? Like,
yeah, it kind of depends. 34, 38, somewhere around that. It just kind of depends on how much land you need, or if you have the ability to ramp land or be able to seek land out pretty easily.
Okay, yeah.
That room was crazy. Yeah.
That was a bad room. Yay, protection.
So yeah, you're probably going to want to look for pretty much any named land that isn't a basic land, you can only have one of.
Okay.
So any non-basic land you can only have one of. So
slaps roof of my deck. See this bitch? It has so many Trenos.
Yeah, exactly. I got a Midgar. I was pretty happy with that. That was kind of fun.
I got a lot of Ishgards, which is great because if I want to build an equipment deck, then
I got some Balam Gardens.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, that's a scary place. I don't want to go in the scary place. We're gonna get our head caved in. All right, let's go into the scary place. We're due for a reset.
Does have healing in it though.
Yeah, there's healing right there.
I'm going for it.
Yeah, so one of my favorite cards that I've opened, obviously, is the Knights of the Round, which I need for my Knight deck.
Yes.
So yeah, I like it. I used it to beat up on Dave and Josh. Well, I guess Dave and Josh kind of beat up on each other because they didn't think I was a threat. Because it was like my first Magic game in decades, back before lands were a friggin' thing.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's really fun. I really want to put a wizard deck together. I think I need a Kuja for it, but I do have a Queen Braun, so.
I think I have an extra Kuja I could probably send you.
Yeah, we should probably. You know what? When the Yapcast is over, we should go over that. Actually, I probably have some extra cards. I have an extra Excalibur and.
Oh yeah.
An extra Steiner if you need a Steiner, and
should definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
Go through what we got.
Have you got a Clive yet?
I don't think I did. I got 2 Torgles. I didn't get a Clive though.
I have a bunch of Torgles. I got a nice fancy art turbo, which is cool.
Ooh, that's cool.
Um,
Yeah, I got a lot of things I was very happy with. So
it's really fun. It's strangely addicting, and
it really is, especially when it's Final Fantasy, right?
yeah, it's a real
So
problem
much personal investment.
because I really do want to like Pokemon this shit and catch them all. So
Yep, yep. Well, if you want every card and every variant with every foil, I think there's like 2,258 versions.
no, I don't want
so.
every card in every variant. I really just want I want one of every card.
Yeah,
like every
yeah.
possible use or functional
Same,
card.
Yeah, same.
And that's it. Because if this is too much money. I have not been lucky enough to get a Sephiroth, so other than the one that comes in the starter pack.
Yep, I have not either. I missed out on quite a bit of cards.
I have so many cards. I'll take
quite a bit
picture
of the
and show
mythic
you all
stuff.
this
So
bullshit
yeah,
later. But
that'd be a lot of fun.
yeah, that's magic.
So you beat Xenoblade.
I beat Xenoblade. Oh god. And you know what? I immediately started the DLC, and it's so fucking good, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's paced like just phenomenally. Like, I wish every Xenoblade was like this.
Yep.
I really do.
They did a very good job with it.
Unavailable in
don't
co-op.
do that.
What is this crap? Oh, this
I
is the
didn't
tower.
realize that. I thought you could do the tower in co-op. I guess not. Maybe you have to go to the tower first and then start a thing. I don't know.
I don't know. We don't need to do tower. We'll beat the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did beat Xenoblade. It got me right in the friggin' feels. I'll say that. The ending was
yeah. They're the
so
end.
sad, and
Yep.
but like so good at the same time. Like, I actually welled up a little bit. I got a little emotional. I'm not gonna lie.
That's hard not to. It's
I
hard
started
not
crying.
to.
Like, so have you played Xenoblade all the way through? Xenoblade 3?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the ending where they're is you know, I don't want to spoil it because I believe there's like one person watching right now, and I just don't want to. I don't want to spoil it for them, but it's just right in the feels. It's so sad, and so but it is a very satisfying ending, and it makes you really want to like go back and play the other games. And I actually really enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And
yeah,
so,
I really enjoyed it. I actually didn't finish it. And after playing through 3, I had a very similar feeling. I was like, oh man, I need to go back and play through, Xenoblade 1 and 2. And especially, am I wrong in thinking that they are re-releasing Xenoblade 1?
they already did. Yeah.
Oh, okay, they did. Okay, well, even more so. So
So it was really good. I played Xenoblade 1 on the Wii.
Yeah.
But I haven't played the re-release version, so I forget a lot about what's going on in that game.
Yeah.
And so as for what's next, yeah, I'm gonna go through the DLC. It's really well paced. It's not really a spoiler, but like Rex and Shulk make an appearance in there. Rex is a total badass in this version versus like the mousy kid he was in the original game. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, they did a really good job with the series. Yeah. Did you ever play? Okay, so speaking about, did you ever play Xenosaga?
Yes, I did. So I played the first one, and some of Der Wildermacht, which is the second one.
Yeah.
But I never ended up finishing those or anything like that.
I played through all of Xenosaga. I loved the characters in that. I loved the story in that game. I thought it was a really well done game, and it was one of the few like sci-fi RPGs out there besides Star Ocean. I was kind of wanting that Star Ocean vibe from something again, after playing through a couple of Star Ocean games, and that kind of filled that void.
So one thing that the reason, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but like the reason I enjoyed Xenosaga so much, or I got into Xenosaga so much, is because of someone's like, oh, there's like so many cutscenes, like half-hour long cutscenes, and I'm like, fuck yeah, sign me up. So I'm here for it. So that's how I got into Xenosaga. I
Yep.
haven't played Xenogears, which is probably a cardinal sin.
Oh, yes,
Um,
you've got to play Xenogears.
so I'm waiting
If
for
you just,
the right time.
yeah, I mean, if you like, you love JRPGs in general, Xenogears. If anybody here or listening has not had the opportunity to play through Xenogears, it is a long game, but it is phenomenal. It's so good. I don't want to kind of give anything away about it because a lot of people don't really know a lot about Xenogears. It's kind of one of those lost in the sauce games. I feel like in the great era of old PlayStation RPGs. But definitely worth a play. Definitely worth a play.
I will give it a shot at your.
Yeah, definitely do it.
I'm having a
I mean,
hard time.
You played through Legend of Legaia, right?
Yeah.
So
I give it a sec.
just imagine the system of the combat system of Legend of Legaia, and now just put it in a SquareSoft game, and there you go. So.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll fuck with that.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's great stuff.
Yeah, all right, I'll give it a shot. I'm having a hard time because like towards the end of the year, well, we went over this last episode. There is so many games coming out at the end of the year, like in October.
Yes, there really is. It kind of snuck up. And we've kind of talked about it before, but I mean the great shackles have been let loose from
Grand
Auto
Theft Auto,
6. Yeah. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of games that it's fun to see.
Even like Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei and Digimon are coming out on the same day, which is so annoying.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to play. I love Digimon, and I'm so excited to play Digimon Story, but wouldn't you know?
I think I asked you this before, but should I try out the Digimon Story games?
I think it's worth a shot. I also think I was reading some developer like commentary or interview on Digimon Stories, Time Stranger, and like already he said like this is like the perfect time to jump into those games, which is great because like honestly the budget for those games looks so high compared to like Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. Like the budget is infinitely higher already, and I can really tell right from the get-go. So I would just jump in here. But if you have PlayStation Plus, jump in on, I think Hacker's Memory is free on PlayStation Plus, or it was free at some point in time.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. Yeah, then I'll definitely do that then.
It might still be free.
But I still have one of my most anticipated game of the year coming out tomorrow, so still got to play that.
Oh, it's not out yet? I thought it was out for some reason.
Unless it is. I thought it was out tomorrow, or technically tonight at midnight, but I could be very wrong. So I have seen streamers play it, but I know that usually they get early copies of stuff. So
goddamn streamers.
Yep. The privilege that I wish I had.
Yeah, it's that game. So that game is getting no. It's got to be out already. It's got to be out. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop and Google this. I'm
check right
almost.
Now. Technically, I guess I could check the PlayStation Store right now and see.
June 20. Oh yeah, you're right. It does come out. That's weird. There's so many people with early copies of it already. Like
that's where
Law has a copy already. Like,
well, I know that. I mean, I feel like that's one of those games that needs the advertisement. I guess is the best way to put it. You're kind of in. I feel like Death Stranding. You're in one of two camps. You either like it or you don't. And I'm always. I don't know. I'm always looking for those unique video game experiences that you can't really have other places. And I know I've said this. I think I've said this on every podcast that we've had. But Man, Death Stranding is one of those experiences that I will always tell somebody to just give it a shot
Hmm.
because you will never play a game like it ever.
Yeah, I saw someone say like there's a lot of praise being heaped on this game. Maybe deservedly so. Who am I to say? Um, I think I just swiped your gun too. Yeah, this is fine.
It doesn't matter.
Who am I to say? But like the praise it's getting is awesome, and it's very encouraging, and it almost makes me want to just go back and play Death Stranding. Um,
I I'm telling you, man. If there's a game that came out that is not an RPG per se that I would advocate anyone to play, it is Death Stranding. It,
all
it
right, I'll give it a shot.
the story is so good. The the kind of the message that it does. I mean, Kojima does such a good job about doing messages with his stories.
Mhm.
And this one hits so well, especially, I mean, it hit even better, during when the COVID era was there and everyone was isolated. And that's kind of the whole point of the game is about connecting with people.
Mhm.
Um, and it really does such a good job with that theme. That I don't know. The game's just great. It's so good. The story alone is worth the play. So
All right, all right, all right. I'll give it a shot. Maybe after I beat
yep.
Xenoblade. The problem, and I say problem like lightheartedly, really. But the problem is that a new WoW patch is probably coming. It's imminent.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I feel like we'll probably see pre-patch in what, a month?
maybe, yeah.
That's what I would think. I think we'll see pre-patch in like a month.
Um, yeah, maybe. I'm I'm looking forward to it. I actually jumped on to my Demon Hunter today. I'm gonna get my Demon Hunter ready for
For Super Void Demon Hunter.
Void Demon Hunter, and also
Yeah.
because like I don't think we have a Demon Hunter. Like Cody did play it, but he
Yeah.
he was miserable
It
about
kind
it.
of, yeah, I was gonna say it depends on if Cody wants to play it or not.
Just eat that
And I
right in
guess it
the face.
depends on what Shale feels like he wants to play.
Yeah, but that I Demon Hunter right now is really fun. It's probably the
Sure.
most fun I've had playing Demon Hunter since Legion.
Oh wow.
Um, it's it's got two like the no mover play style is pretty interesting, and the mover play
Right.
style isn't as aggressive as it was before, so it's fine. I don't have to play inertia, which is great because I don't really want to play inertia. It
Yeah.
was fun while it lasted, but then if I wanted to tighten everything up in a burst window, I'd just play subtlety rogue. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure. Yeah, there's definitely there's better opportunities
mhm.
to kind of play that type of style in other places.
So, but yeah, it's I'm having a lot of fun with it. So, and yeah, we could be Void Bros.
I'm excited.
So
I'm excited. Void Bros, melee and range Void Bros.
this really does have like that whole feeling around it, like the Og Evoker feeling too. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
it definitely feel like right. I'm not crazy. Maybe like
Oh,
all the
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe there's too much opium. What if they like purposely baited the community and be like, "Ha, idiots! There's no new class. Here's just some skins and a glyph." Like,
That would be pretty funny.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yep.
I can see
I
them
know.
doing
We'll
it.
see. We'll see. It'll be. I think it's going to be a good patch. I think that their promise on having more meaningful patches has definitely come to fruition. Because this definitely seems like a patch with a lot of substance.
There is.
So
So
I mean,
much substance, in fact, that Shadow Priest is getting reworked for a sixth time.
it's minor. It's minor. It's not like a total rework. It's minor. We got some. They changed some of the idols. They removed Mind Spike, which I'm fine with. Though I'm not fine with the fact that Dark Ascension is kind of even more of a why is it even a thing right now?
And
So
even more of a why you do this to me, please.
Yeah, so there's definitely some strange choices in general. So we'll see how it goes. But I think that in for the most part, I mean, it looks like, I mean, the Void Barrage talent, I think is what it's called. That
That
looks
looks
like
awesome,
fun.
and it gives you a reason
It looks super good.
to use Void
Yeah.
Torrent some more, which is always
hmm
necessary.
It's my favorite spell. Favorite spell in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, getting to use Void Torrent and then having the chance to literally hit Void Torrent again and do something else. So cool.
Yeah.
And um, gosh, they changed so many. They added a lot of stuff. But it still functionally plays the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the idols stacks. You get like you stack on your primary target, it builds up stacks, and once you hit 50 stacks, it explodes, and then once you hit 100 stacks, it explodes. So it like even adds more into that
That funnel play style,
funnel
because
with
that works on link damage too, right? Like
yeah, it hits on Psychic Link. So
okay.
really cool that they decided to keep that synergy. I feel like there's definitely some thought out things going on with Shadow Priest there. I think there was some stuff that they probably could have done better with. But in general, it seems like it changes. So I'll be happy to see what it plays like more so whenever we start getting gear, especially with the tier set and everything. I love the tier set changes.
What's the tier set do for Shadow Priest?
So there's so the tiers this patch around, it's based on hero talents this time.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone gets essentially 3 to 4 different tier sets essentially
or
of
2
stuff.
if you're Demon Hunter.
Or 2 if you're Demon Hunter. So being able to, so the Shadow Priest one, if you do Archon, you pretty much spawn, I think it's every 2 casts of Devouring Plague, you spawn a full halo. This isn't like a like partial halo. You spawn a full halo. So you get to pretty much just be Halo Man. You will just be constantly spawning halos as you do your rotation.
That is
So
cool.
pretty cool. And then secondarily, if you play Void Weaver, the Void Weaver one, and I could be mixing this up, but I think it's either, so it's after, I think it's after you do you create an entropic rift, and every mind blast you cast creates another entropic rift. So you just
sick.
you amass a entropic rift. So yeah, both of the Shadow Priest tier sets pretty slick. I mean, being able to spawn a whole bunch of halos and being able to just be Black Hole Man. So you can be Halo Man or Black Hole Man. So I like it thematically. Great.
That's cool, man.
That's kind of why I like playing Shadow Priest in general. I like the theme of Shadow Priest. So being able to just do the thing more is fun. So
I'm really hoping.
Oh, and they made Shadowy Apparitions crit again.
That's good.
So that's also kind of fun. It did. I mean, it did functionally technically crit. It's just that now it actually
right? Like...
it's based off of the spell's crit. So if your spell crit, then your Shadowy Apparition would hit harder, but it wouldn't be considered a crit. So now it actually crits, so you get synergy based on the crit now. So
that's good.
Whereas before you didn't. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Demon Hunters. Well, so Evoker, it was so weird, and I'm probably gonna get called like a liar for this, but I don't care. Before, that was dumb. Before Evokers was even released, I'm like, they said they were doing like versions where it's like affects different hero talents, right? And I'm like, okay, well,
yes,
one of the Evoker ones is going to be like Mass Disintegrate hits like extra targets, for sure. And it was, so I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm gonna split the piss so much. So that one's great. I don't really care about the Flame Shaper one because it's like something to do with Essence Burst or something like that. I don't really care. because more
Sure.
more beams, please, is what I'm here for.
Give me more split streams.
Yeah. The Demon Hunter one increases like your damage by 60% up for Reaver's Glaive, which is like your class mechanic, and that's the 2-piece, and all all physical damage by 30%. So you just get 30% physical damage. Now, admittedly, you don't get a lot of physical damage as a Demon Hunter, but you do get enough. So it's like probably like the 2-piece alone is probably worth like 8% extra damage. On top of that, Demon Hunter has like a lot of funnel in it, so like all that physical damage funnels into your main target.
Yeah.
And then it makes your blade dance essentially hit like 12 additional times. That's
okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
4-piece for the Reaver one. So I like that. I really like working around blade dance. So yeah, I'm excited.
That does sound exciting. I mean, most of it, if I'm not mistaken, most of the classes tier sets seem pretty slick.
Dude, Frostfire's fire tier set fires glacial lances at things when you hit Pyroblast. And then
oh really?
Yeah, and then Frost is like, oh, your ignites your crits ignite now. So Frost has ignite. And
that is cool.
fucking mages, am I right?
Yep, I know. If there was ever a main character of WoW, right, it's mages.
Yeah. Oh crap.
I guess Warlocks at times, but maybe not so much right now. And I know that Warlocks are pretty upset about Shadow Priest having double Shadow Crash right now. So
why? They need it. Because Warlocks are so good. Like,
yeah, but they also don't. So Aflock doesn't really have a good way of spreading dots, whereas now with Shadow Priest having
crap,
double Shadow Crash. I forget the spell. What is the spell name that Aflock uses to spread dots? I can't remember.
It's on a low cooldown, right? Like they don't have like a. They have 2 talents essentially. I'm just gonna see. It's one. It's either like the void ball on top of their head, or there's one that applies like agony and something else.
Yeah. I forget the name of the one that specifically that they were like, I wish we had 2 charges of this, because I guess they've been asking for it for a while.
It's okay. Dots don't do their damage anyways.
That's true. Dots are coming back though.
Dots are making a comeback.
They're making their comeback.
Oh, thank God, a weapon. Jesus Christ.
There's also like 10,000 healing things around, so.
Yeah, we need this. Yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to the patch now. I'm probably gonna try and play Demon Hunter. Andrew's listening right now, so like, just don't play Mage, buddy. You're just gonna be miserable.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah,
Andrew, you need to play what you want to play, not what you think you should play.
Well, yeah. Who cares?
That is my message.
It is my whale shit heroic raid. Just play whatever you want.
Yep, play what you want to play.
God. So yeah, I'm excited for the WoW patch. Get into it. Death Knights are rioting in the streets.
Yeah, right now. They don't have their grabby hands.
They don't have grabby hands. Grip isn't raid utility. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those things where if grabby hands is tough, right? Because it is a great spell. It is. But it also was a problem because, it was part of your damage rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also, kind of piggybacking off of that, from like Shadow Priest, we have a new talent to cause Void or Shadow Crash to just do a whole bunch of damage. And whereas, okay, that's great. Now you have to make that crappy decision of like, do I just hold this cooldown? Yeah. Do I use it for damage or am I, using this to actually spread, do I need to wait until we get an actual pack? Those are those are type of decisions that I feel like the players shouldn't have to make.
Didn't they also reduce the number of targets that Shadow Crash puts dots on?
Yeah, so it got reduced from 8 to 6. So you will be still manually dotting quite a bit still, but you know, I don't think it's a huge, especially since you have 2 charges on a 15-second cooldown. So much less punishing missing your football.
Also, did Shadow Crash do a lot of damage before?
No,
300% of 300% of nothing is still nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
it's it's true. It's a big number. 300% is a big number. It's still apparently hits hard on the PTR. So, but whether or not, you know, whether or not you do take it or not, I'm not sure.
Oops, man, I'm getting.
I was thinking. I was in a train of thought. Oh, we were talking about Death Knights. And
yeah, Death Knights.
So I was thinking like grabby hands, and I was thinking, okay, well, what if they just made grabby hands a utility? And of course, I don't play DK enough to know what type of repercussions that would cause or anything like that. So, is it, you know, is the loss of grabby hands? I mean, because it's like, okay, well, if it's a talent and it's a choice to have grabby hands or not, then are people going to take it because it doesn't do damage now and it's just utility type thing? Probably not, because there's damage nodes that they'd rather take.
I don't even know what are any other nodes for Death Knight.
I honestly don't know Death Knight either, but I'm just, you know, asking rhetoricals of like, you know, because then it's like, okay, well, the tanks would take it because it's, you know, more utility to have that, but then it's kind of redundant with mass grip. So do you really need grabby hands or not type thing? And,
well, I don't think they ever took mass grip to begin with. That's what kind of Max was saying, right? That was like the biggest problem is like,
I didn't realize that Max had already talked about it. I'm out of the know there.
He was yapping a little bit about it. And then I stopped listening to him. But yeah, I don't think they take it that much anyways. So God, I really wish I had enough of that.
Especially, I mean, I can see how like in Raid, probably not. There aren't very many opportunities for you to be like, you know what, mass grip is a great decision here.
Well, and Blizzard said that's why they got rid of what's it called? Grabby hands, because
grabby hands, yeah,
they just made a whole bunch of mobs immune to it as a result of it existing. I don't know how much I actually believe that, but that's what they said.
I'm not sure either, and I don't know if this is more of a decision made because of the design of a raid type thing, and if I don't know if it's causing problems within the raid type thing, you know, is it really necessary? You know, is grabby hands? Should grabby hands be a necessity for the raid? I guess is the question. Should there ever be a reason why you're like, you know what?
Yeah, like is this a Nathria, you know, anti-magic zone type scenario, or is this a different type of scenario altogether?
Right.
So, because like
it's tough it's always tough when it comes to I mean, every class has I'd say every class, but a lot of classes have something similar where it's like, should it even be in the game? Like, should PI be in the game?
No,
I don't know.
I fucking hate PI so much.
I
and that's
someone
that's as someone who always gets PI too. So like, I always get PI. I just hate that it exists because it really does rely on like someone else to make your class feel fun or even do optimal damage.
It does, and it also, I mean, it's great that they added Twin Suns, but now it even more kind of makes it to where, okay, well, now the class is essentially balanced around PI, and unfortunately, the fact that PI exists also causes problems. Also, you know, speaking of Death Knights, causes problems with other classes because you get PI. It just, you know, like Unholy DK with PI a while ago, it was insane.
Same with Warlock, right? Like Demonology
Yeah,
Warlock.
same with Warlock.
Dude, I
Yeah.
fucking called that
So-
back in Matt, and I think Matt's listening, or at least he banned someone in the chat. So I called that shit back in Nathria, and I always asked for PI from Chelsea, and I was parsing so high with it. But because nobody at the time played Demonology, they all played like Affliction or something else.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just unheard of. And then those classes got nerfed, and then Demonology was goated. But then I played Demon Hunter because nobody plays Demonology, so obviously it was easy enough for me to fucking parse. So, God damn it, man. So yeah, I think PI. I don't know. I don't like raid buffs that much. I don't know if I can get over to you actually.
I don't know if you can either. Yeah, I don't either. I wish that. I mean, I definitely think that the previous tier raid did a fantastic job being able to showcase the strengths of a lot of different classes. I think they did a phenomenal job with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being able to see different classes excel whenever you're looking at Warcraft logs or whatever it is, or even within our own raid, being able to see classes start to shine based on what they're really good at was great. And I hope they do more of that. Just because it makes, I mean, One Arm Bandit for Shadow Priest was just so much fun because I was like, I literally have 3 targets for like so much of this fight. And plus you get Twist of Fate for so much of it because all this stuff is dying, and there's just so many great things that are happening, and it's great to have those things. But yeah, do we need raid buffs? I mean, I guess that's a good question. Why? But if you don't, and then it kind of comes into it. Okay, well, if you don't bring raid buffs, then you start to have a problem where you do start stacking classes, because now that the raid buffs aren't there, now you start stacking mages or whatever the heck else because you don't need Fort, or you don't need to have Mark of the Wild, or
if we go to a place now where we stack boomkins, there will be no living with the boomkins. For the love of God, let's not stack
not
boomkins.
A single bit. Never.
If we ever go through like another scenario where we have to do this, like friggin' Blackhand,
you give them or what about the crazy ramp that you got for in Shadowlands? Yeah. Remember where they're literally just standing still and just waving their flappy arms around, doing bajillions of damage,
flopping around like a bunch of morons.
Yep.
Boomkins shouldn't even be a real class, really.
It's an interesting class for you. I know a lot of people like it. I like it thematically. I think it's cool.
Nobody's perfect.
I'm glad that they gave them astral form.
Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely better with astral form.
Where is?
I am a little sad that, especially, that, I mean, tree form is a thing, but I liked the fact that druid healers were just trees.
I miss those days.
I thought that was fun. Megan said she hated it, but I liked her being a tree.
Trees were awesome. The only bad part about it was you get banished.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick. Let's go.
I'm back.
Yeah, I get rid of raid buffs, please. Anybody? Just go.
If they do, they just need to balance it the right way. Because otherwise, like I said,
you're right. Okay, better keep raid buffs.
It's just, and really, does it? Okay, well, okay. Here's another question. Since I mean, I guess from a heroic raider standpoint, oh my gosh, from a heroic raider standpoint, does it really matter from a heroic raid standpoint if people are stacking classes?
No, not really.
Because at least it really doesn't, right? It does matter in the grand scheme of things when it comes to, I don't know. Like it's one of those things where, yes, I understand that there's only so many spots in Mythic Raid, and I understand that stacking classes in Mythic, it's a problem, right? Because then if you really enjoy playing Feral Druid and
You're not getting invited. But then again,
you're a big sad
you haven't
for a
been
lot of
invited.
times.
You haven't been invited for like 10 years, really.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they did a
and I
brief stint
understand.
where they were invited. Oh crap.
It's just one of those. It's one of those things where I think it's just it's a product of the environment of that's created, and I don't know. Should things be balanced around Mythic when it comes to class balance? Probably not, because the majority of the people don't do it. So, and I do, like I said, I do understand the problems that it entails on the Mythic raid level,
Mm-hmm.
but whether or not that affects the great populace of WoW or not, it really doesn't. So it's just the perception of. Well, that guy definitely just gripped me to death.
Yeah, the same. What do you think of? So with Gallywix, they didn't put him in the journal. I thought that was awesome. There was an interview. I think it was might have been the Wowhead interview, where someone was like, you know what? The only people who didn't really like the fact that it wasn't in the journal was like Echo and Liquid, and the race people. Everyone else thought the difficulty was just fine for Gallywix, and that's probably like
right,
because the race to world first raiders, didn't have there was no arms race between race to world first and Blizzard this time. And I guess my question to you would be like, back in the day, Mythic Raid, we used to kind of like gear and corruption and stuff like that used to nerf Mythic Raid. Like even in Nathria, we were able to go through Mythic Nathria at least partially until we hit an execution check where we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. And
so my question to you is, do you think we should go back there?
Yeah. I think so. I think that you're saying, should we go back to a place where the gear is what nerfs the content?
The gear is what nerfs the content, and
totally.
And you actually can go back and do it, and it feels achievable, and like even if you don't clear it all the way through, like it makes it so that more of the population can enjoy Mythic raids.
Yeah, I think Mythic raiding is definitely not for everybody, and I understand that. But me as a WoW player, I want to do content that has, especially raiding content, that has impactful mechanics. I think that matters a ton to me when it comes to me enjoying raid or not. And I love the Mythic mechanic. I mean, honestly, I mean, Nathria was just such a great time. Just because of the mechanic. I mean, it requires coordination to beat the fights, and in normal and heroic, it doesn't require that. All it requires is, do you do enough damage? And
can you kill the fights before they kill you?
Can you kill the fights before they kill you? In 80% of them, that's how it is, right? I mean, there are some fights that obviously do mechanics that you obviously have to do correctly and that type of thing. But I think the coordination and the extra step of having to do something else as part of those normal mechanics means a lot. When it comes to my enjoyment, at least with the game. So
yeah. No, I agree with you.
I like having to put in multiple pulls in a fight. I'm not a huge fan of just being able to pull a heroic boss 8 times and calling it solved. I mean, that's just not. I would much rather every heroic fight take 50-ish pulls to figure out and solve. I think that, and each of them has a has a puzzle to solve within it, more so than what it is now, because I do feel that the gap between mythic and heroic is a huge step, and I wish there was something in between there.
I feel like it's a
I wish I
lot bigger than it was.
Oh,
Like way
definitely.
bigger than it
I
was.
definitely think it was. I definitely think so. I feel like the difficulty between mythic and heroic is such a huge step up in difficulty
Mhm.
that, and not only just mechanical difficulty, even 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 raid composition difficulty, it's so restrictive that if you don't have a solid group of people that have multiple classes, a lot of times you're kind of sunk unless the boss does get nerfed. And I mean, maybe not for some of the players that are playing in Hall of Fame type of environment. Obviously, most of those guilds can get through it with whatever classes they have, but for the majority of people trying to do a similar fight, it's so restrictive to be able to put together a proper raid comp in order to do mythic. And I understand that's part of the difficulty, but I feel like there's got to be a better way to do those types of difficult mechanics in a raid environment than what there is now.
And like this is talking as someone who enjoys like the race to world first. I love watching it. I know the top players love solving fights. So like
I think that's the best part of the viewing, right?
yeah.
It's watching the teams slowly but surely chip away at those, chip away at those difficult fights.
I just think like there was a time when mythic raiding was a little more accessible and the game was more fun, even if we didn't get into the whole thing. Right?
Yeah,
Like even if
definitely.
we didn't clear the whole fight.
I mean, the fact that, if we think about, Nathria is a great example.
Nathria is the last time it
I
was really accessible.
I agree. I think Nathria is probably the last time we will. It has been since Mythic was an accessible and attainable, achievable goal for a group of 20 dedicated heroic raiders to at least take the plunge into it, and see and get some bosses done, and not just like a quarter of the way through. I mean, we got through.
We got like 2/3
more
of the
than
way
half.
through.
Yeah. So, and it was great. It was a blast, every bit of it. And even doing and I also think that mythic difficulty on Nyalotha was actually great as well. I thought that was really good. And I know that Corruption's pushed that, but if that's what it takes to have fun and enjoy that type of difficulty, I mean, fine. If maybe, I don't know, maybe they have options for, do you want to do this on Wrist World first, non-patch difficulty? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different ways you can go about, keeping the integrity of difficulty of a fight.
What if Mythic was like rewards only, or like cosmetic rewards only? I think a lot less people would possibly do it, but
I think a lot less people would do it.
Because if we've seen anything, it seems like
I say that, but I also think that the floor for joining a mythic raid would be much lower, so the opportunity for more people to play without having to commit an exorbitant amount of time into gearing and optimizing a character, that does. There's some incentive there. So I would think that you could probably, I don't know, that's a good question, because if it was just, if there wasn't a gear or not a gear requirement, but if it was balanced around like end game heroic gear, I don't know. I feel like I feel like the fights would be really good. Uh,
Or think of it like mop challenge modes. I don't know if you ever did mop or WOD challenge
yeah,
modes,
yeah, yeah.
where you're gear limited,
Yes.
right? But then you get these 6 sets at the end of it, cosmetic sets or something like that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I don't know, something like that. I just
I mean,
think
isn't that how, I mean, even how, Final Fantasy Ultimates are, right? I mean,
yeah.
you're gear limited
Mm-hmm.
by whatever the heck you have, and then you just put your tertiaries and secondaries a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that doesn't make those any less fun to watch or participate in. So,
Yeah.
do we need a mythic tier of gear? I don't know, but it also
I feel like we're saying some pretty like blasphemous shit.
I think we probably are. I mean, you also got to think, right? I mean, people like to progress and make their character stronger, and mythic rating is a way of doing that. And yes, you quote unquote complete your character faster,
Mhm.
I guess you could say. But that also opens up the opportunity to play alts. I know a lot of people don't play alts, but if you had the opportunity to max out a character and say you're done for the season when it comes to gearing, other than getting tertiaries or getting a specific trinket or something like that. I mean, I understand that kind of changes what the core philosophy is right now when it comes to gearing. So it's pretty blasphemous, I would think, to say right now.
Mhm.
But it is interesting. It is an interesting conversation to have of what are the ramifications or the repercussions of changing that theory of that gearing kind of philosophy, but behind how it functions currently.
Mhm. I think yeah.
Because it would be interesting to see a world where you the top gear for mythic, or the top gear is heroic raid, and seeing and you can of course get acquired gear through mythic plus, but it still has a ceiling. And those, I mean, it does kind of, I feel like it does kind of create a situation
Damn it.
where you can only go so far in Mythic Plus.
Mhm.
But I feel like there's a lot of optimizations that are happening now when it comes to Mythic Plus. I mean, the guys are either you're hitting you're hitting your max at some point, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's heroic or mythic, you're hitting a maximum min point at some point, and you're still having to optimize. So does that reduce the accomplishment there? I don't know. I don't. Does it require a whole nother tier of or set of gear score to get to that point? I don't know.
Mhm. Like I think
Because I think pushing keys is still I know I just keep talking, but
that's fine. That's
I
fine.
think pushing keys is one of those things that you're either a key pusher or you're not. And yes, it's great getting gear and progressing, but why can't it be heroic level, and then you hit your character optimum, and then
Mhm.
you decide where your secondary and tertiaries should go, and you start to have multiple gear sets a lot quicker and easier for certain you know dungeons, and then I think that also opens up opportunities for maybe having gear sets that do different things based on what you're wearing, more so not just a tier set type thing,
Mhm.
because now you don't have that whole other set of gear score that you have to try to get to,
Yeah.
kind of maybe more of a you don't just have one tier set, you could have multiple different sets that you can try to balance around type thing. So I don't know, it's an interesting question.
Yeah. I would like to see a world where Mythic is just a little more accessible. Now, whether that means doing 10-man raids or something like that, or just stopping the arms race between like Liquid and Echo and the devs, I definitely think that it's very entertaining, and don't get me wrong. Um, but like I definitely think that has caused a lot of damage to the quote unquote casual scene. Or it just means that we're too old and now we don't have time for that anymore, or
Yeah,
something along
yeah.
those lines.
I mean,
It could
there's
very well
definitely
mean
something
that
along
too.
those lines, right?
Yeah.
I think that's definitely some of it. I mean, but it does feel that the amount of time required to gear a character seems very. I don't
Seems a
know.
lot higher lately than it has been
It
in the
seems
past.
pretty high, and maybe that's just a fabrication, but
Hmm.
man, does it seem high lately. So I don't know. It's tough to say. You know what's real and what's not
Yeah.
based on what I'm thinking. But it does. Mythic rating does seem very inaccessible for a majority of the rate. And should, I guess that's the other question. Should it be accessible?
Yeah, you're right.
Should is that something to aspire to? I've definitely come to a personal decision or conclusion of, what, Mythic just isn't an obtainable goal. Whether or not I want it to be or not, it's just not obtainable, and I've come to terms with that, and I understand that. I think the days of trying to put together a hodgepodge group of people to go into Mythic and progress is just kind of, that's kind of over at this point for
It's over unless they change the way how accessible and how, like, the
it.
mechanical bloat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And you know
I,
what?
I
Maybe
agree.
the add-on thing that they're doing, maybe that'll change something.
And maybe it will. I mean, it would
Yeah.
be great. It would be great to see, the if we don't have to deal with, you know, literally professional programmers creating situations that allow the game to be playable or mechanics to be
Hmm.
playable.
Hmm.
That's I think getting rid of the add-ons thing is only a plus. So I don't see very many downsides to this.
Hmm.
And if as long as there's no circumventions, and as long as the quality of life that a lot of these add-ons provide is accessible via what Blizzard provides, that would
Hmm.
be great. But I know that a lot of there's it's going to take a lot of work, and
Yeah.
I think that Blizzard understands that, but it's going to take a ton of work, and
Dude, I'm excited for the arms
I
race, personally. I
I am
can't wait
too.
to see what the hell's gonna happen.
I am too. I think it's. I mean, once again, Race Horse is one of my favorite events throughout the year. I
Hmm.
love it. I mean, I love WoW as a game in general, right? So, I mean, just being able to see the people play the game at the tippy top and watching all that, it's great entertainment. It's hard not to enjoy.
Yeah, for sure.
So it will be it will be interesting to see what the top groups do with these changes. So.
That little pest. Yeah, I'm interested to see, like, what kind of thing happens with the add-on thing. Does it literally just put some people out of a job? Like, Liquid literally has people on the payroll to do that shit, right? Like,
Yeah, that's what they do.
mhm.
So it would be interesting to see what happens,
Mhm, mhm.
because yeah, it's going to be a big change. It's going to be a big philosophy change from what it currently is now.
Please look forward to it.
Hey, please look forward to changes.
Um, so in other news this week, I don't know if you saw this floating around, and I wanted to catch your opinion on it because, like, obviously the Switch 2 is new. We are not, we don't buy the Switch 2. We didn't buy it. Um,
Nope,
because
we did not.
there's fucking nothing to play on it. So
There's nothing to play now. Mario Kart does look awesome. It does, but am I going to spend $600 to play Mario Kart for what is likely to be 2 weeks of entertainment? I probably not.
mhm, mhm,
Not
mhm.
for me. That is not a decision that I want to have to make for
Justify to my wife. Yep.
myself. Yeah, exactly. So no, thank you. I mean, I can't even mentally justify it. Really, I would have to make a large jump in logic to make that actually
Mhm.
work in my mind. So
So surprisingly, or perhaps unsurprisingly, if you have been paying attention at all for the last few years, the third-party sales on the Switch 2 are like really low. I think Cyberpunk is actually like doing pretty well, but everything else is just like complete trash. Up to and even
right.
including like games like that I think are incredibly good, like um Bravely Default and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's third-party sales on Switch 2 really, really bad. Now I don't want to make any more memes about Microsoft because I feel like I beat up on them way too much. But like, is this like one of those situations where just Switch 2 players don't buy third-party games, or do you think that like the entry price for the Switch 2 was just so astronomically high that you know this is your option? You buy Mario Kart and this, and you play this, and that's it.
I think I don't know. It's tough to say because I think that I mean, obviously the Switch 2 sales have been phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's obvious that there is a rabid fan base out there that wants to play Nintendo quality games. I think the main question there is the is the quality of Nintendo games that much higher than what other third party people that are taking a jump into the Switch 2? Is that you know is the disparity so much so that you just don't want to play anything else other than something that is a Nintendo product?
Well, on the Switch too, I like this thing like no, right? Because like if it's Mario Kart, is Mario Kart worth playing? Like the is it really the only game that you need to play? I couldn't tell you, but in my opinion, like I love kart racers, but I think Mario Kart is so overrated, and Crash Team Racing is the best kart racer ever made. So,
Well, I think the audience. Here's the thing. I think the audience that wants to play third-party games, indie games, janky games, anything that is outside of what the normal populace would play, I guess you would say. I think that the audience for that is at the Steam Deck. I think, and I think that the people that are more interested in those types of games, they're going to purchase a Steam Deck, and they're going to play the craziest stuff that they can possibly find to do that, because you can play. I mean, that's where that audience is. So I don't think that audience is at the Switch 2. I don't. I think that the Switch 2 audience is definitely a younger base. It's parents that want to buy into a ecosystem that is more appropriate for their age. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of just absolute junk on the Switch store. Like I think I forget who I was watching, but somebody checking out the Nintendo store, and literally the top game at the very front page was like a hentai game, like right at the, or it had like hentai in the title or something like that. But like, I think that's maybe not an anomaly, but I think that the audience for those types of games those are more Steam Deck / ROG Ally, right? I think that's where that fan base is for that, or where the audience is for that.
I think you're right. Andrew said it's about the hardware. He just yapped up in chat. I kind of agree with him, and I definitely agree with you. So you know what the crazy thing is? The Steam Deck has only, as of, let's see, when is this? As of February 2025. So this data could be old, but like it launched around 2022 with the Steam Deck. It's only sold 4 million units. And I say only, like that's a big number, but like in that lifetime.
Does that include like
Steam Deck? Like hardware.
So that's only Steam Deck
hardware sales, yeah, Steam Deck sales. If we,
but I'm saying is that also include like ROG Ally or those types of things that literally just run off of Steam OS?
No, that's literally just okay. Well, the ROG Ally is actually even worse. It's 800 between 800,000 and 1 million. Like, so I guess, and I'm gonna. I think that the Steam Deck and even handhelds, in general, like there's a lot of chatter on the internet about how good these systems are, but like we're not seeing it in the sales, and a lot of it I think is just like smoke, like someone's blowing smoke of the gaming community or like the hardcore community. Like these are great enthusiast machines, I think.
Right.
I don't
Right. No,
have one,
and I entirely
but,
agree.
but like, how important is handheld gaming really?
I think it will become more important than it is now in the future.
Mhm.
I think right now it is definitely more of an enthusiast thing. And but it's one of those. I don't know, and maybe I'm just this type of person. But if I'm wanting to play, a third party Metroidvania type game, I'm not. That's one of those games that I'd rather play on a handheld than play, sitting at my computer.
Mhm.
I would much rather play that on a handheld, sitting on the couch or
Yeah.
laying down in bed or somewhere else. That type of game makes more sense to me in that particular uh, medium of game. So, yeah,
Also, I think
I,
the Switch 2 hardware is just complete ass personally, but maybe that's just me.
well, yeah. When you compare it to, and that's also one of those another one of those things too, where it's they're talking about how it can do this and that. I mean, the fact that it can run 1080, it has the ability to run at 120 refresh rate is pretty great.
Mhm.
Is it the strongest thing out there? No. But Nintendo also does a really good job about providing a this is what the system is type thing, and they
Mhm.
they a majority of all Nintendo games that are Nintendo published games are run very well on their systems.
Yeah,
So
but they optimize for it, right? Whereas other like third
sure,
party people like have already moved on to like stronger systems or something, or the Steam
yeah,
Deck or the
yeah,
ROG, which once again, I just don't think that. I think that the need for handheld is so overblown. Um, People like to sit on their couch or whatever and play that. I also think that
sure.
this is gonna I'm gonna catch so much flack for this, but whatever. I think the I think the PC crowd is so far up their own ass about PC because like so much of the PC user base has like completely out of date hardware, and they
Yeah,
get so mad when games aren't optimized for like their shitty like 10 year old cards. And I will say I think they have a right to be mad about it. I just think like all these graphics cards coming up, they're like $2,000, which is like the price of a fucking console, and people are starting
yeah,
to like design for those graphics cards, and the vast majority of their user base can't afford that shit,
yeah.
or
They
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 just
can't
don't.
afford it, but and on top of that as well, it's you know it, we're also running into a lot of problems where we're kind of reaching the end of scaling when it comes to when it comes to graphics cards, right? You can
Hmm.
only do so much without making the thing bigger and bigger and bigger, which means more and more cost.
Yeah,
So the companies are having to come up with ways
creative
of
ways.
making creative ways of making these cards seem powerful, just like what Nvidia has done with the 50 series and this whole you know fake frames, not real frames, that whole thing.
God damn it.
And
Um, y- yeah,
so
I agree with you. I just think once again, um, as a PC player myself, like I obviously have a really strong PC. Um, I just think PC players are so out to lunch on like the priority. There's a reason why games are developed for console and scaled up, and it's because like
well, you also
they have more more player bases on console, and that's where maybe the lowest common denominator of hardware is, right?
got to think as well, right? Where's a lot of the investment coming from? It's
Hmm.
coming from the companies that own the consoles.
Yeah.
So they're 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 obviously getting paid. The developers are getting paid or helped in some way, shape, or form to design and build games on their console and on their hardware, whereas PC doesn't have anything like that. Valve is not just fronting a whole bunch of money to play stuff on Steam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Steam is a software. It's not. There's no hardware involved with that. So, it's 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 understandably underdeveloped. The piece or under optimized because they don't have the backing of Microsoft or Asus isn't like sitting there going, hey, build stuff for
Or Sony.
X machine because yeah, exactly.
So Sony and their
there's
XDev is actually crazy. Did you see the post where XDev actually helped with Death Stranding?
no, I didn't actually see that.
Yeah, I didn't know that happened, but like apparently they helped with Stellar Blade. Like they just help with all these games. Like I didn't even know they had a studio dedicated to that. Like that's pretty smart.
I mean, they definitely want to showcase off what their hardware can do, and why not, invest money into something that's obviously going to make you more money, because people got to buy your console to play the game.
God, and they make money hand over fist on PlayStation. It's insane.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you've also seen what I mean. I think that Stellar Blade. I don't know if you've heard of it or read any news about the Stellar Blade optimization on PC, but it is like literally probably the best optimized game when it comes. It started off on console and then moved to PC. Like it is beyond anything. And this isn't just some. I mean, this is literally a company that made
a gotcha
Nikkei,
game.
made a whole bunch of money on Nikkei, and then decided that they were going to make this this risk on playing a game that they knew that they wanted to create, and they created a phenomenal game. And then they took the time to optimize
and they took that Sony money.
They did. And yeah, I wish that there was more opportunity for companies to be able to do that. And I know that a lot of companies don't have that capital because of how the gaming industry is. And you kind of have to, be able to have a good enough opportunity to be able to do that. But I wish more companies would look at games like Stellar Blade, and the development that Stellar Blade took of making the best game they could, and listening to the player base and providing them with honestly a premium service.
I think Stellar Blade is phenomenal. First of all, and
oh yeah, it's
the story about how it came out and how it was basically like Shuhei Yoshida from Sony went over there and saw it and is like, I want to give you all the resources I can to make this a success. Right?
Yep.
We need more people like that. And when Shuhei left Sony, I was devastated because like he's the kind of guy who just loves fucking video games. And you're seeing the problem with Sony's whole strategy right now. Like they need to go into games as a service, but like they need video games first, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I miss Shu.
It's true. I really, it's I don't know. It's a scary looking future when it comes to. Yeah, I say that we're kind of in this like weird spot where we're in a point where video games or publishers can notice what's going on and maybe make a pivot and make a change for the better here.
Like Marathon getting delayed indefinitely.
Yeah. Yes. Just like that. And even if the whole stealing art thing didn't happen, would Marathon have actually been successful?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, don't. I think it is a little too. I think I don't know if you saw it. Did you ever see the clip of Shroud talking about friction in video games?
No.
And how he was talking about how he was pretty much speaking on extraction shooters in general, and talking about why Tarkov is Tarkov, and why these other developers that are trying to get into the extraction shooter space, or into even if you look at any type of game in general, usually if you're trying to build a game, you want to try to cater to as many people as possible, for the audience. But that also causes a problem to where your original audience, the reason why your game was so good in the first place, is now being destroyed, and you don't have that quote unquote friction, is what he called it, for not providing the player with a bunch of information. As whenever you go pick something up, a lot of times the game will just tell you right then and there what it is, what it's used for, where you can get it, what types of applications it has in the game. Whereas, Tarkov did a great job of providing you with a whole bunch of stuff, not really telling you what to do. And the only way that you did know what to do with it is by playing the game and experiencing the game and getting that experience. And a lot of games just take that out of it. And he was kind of comparing Marathon in general to Tarkov, just because that's the obvious comparison to make.
I think,
and
so there's clearly a problem with Bungie, more so in their like senior leadership.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a systemic issue when it comes to Bungie. I agree.
I really do think they should have leaned into the PvE aspect of extraction shooters. So I have some friends that play extraction shooters, specifically Tarkov, and they hate the PvP aspect of it. So they play the PvE version and they love it and they play it all the fucking time.
Right.
To the point where like, it's hard to actually yap at them about it. But I think that's what Marathon should have been. It should have just been a PvP. Like, stop with the PvP. That's not what you do. You're fucking Bungie. You make great PvE content. Do that.
Yeah, I think they were maybe too afraid to. I think they were too afraid to have another Destiny, I guess is the best way to put it. Gosh darn it. I think that
it doesn't have to be like another Destiny. They literally could have made Tarkov at home kind of thing. And stop trying to.
Yeah, they definitely could have.
To the PvP aspect. Like, I think a PvE shooter with like Bungie's gunplay is still the best in the business. I don't like Destiny's content, but I love just shooting and playing Destiny in terms of like the gunplay, how the guns feel, how everything feels in that game. Like, it's just phenomenal.
It's great. It's great. It is probably the best gunplay there is. I mean, even the original Destiny, when it came out, I mean, that was the standout part about it, is the fact that,
absolutely,
the gunplay was so good. It was just so good to play. It felt so good to hit things. Shooting the heads of certain things felt good. The animations that happened, they really pulled off that aspect really well. And why? I mean, I do like the art style. I thought the art style of Marathon looked great. I thought it was a great idea,
even if it was stolen.
even if it was stolen, you're right. I mean, that's very, very true. But
I just
think if it wasn't stolen, even still, I love the art style of it. I still don't. I personally don't see the appeal of having. I think that there's an audience for PvPvE type thing. I think there is, but is it enough of an audience to spend the amount of money they spent on that game? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I just think that they could have had the second coming of Helldivers, except fully fleshed out. You know what I'm saying? Because like Helldivers really is just an extraction shooter when you boil it down. You don't find equipment and build things or stuff like that, but like, it make a difficult like Helldivers type game. Or so, like a PvE shooter. I don't know. It's just crazy that they missed the mark on that so much. Because like
it's really tough though too, because I do understand that the problem with PvE is that the amount of dev time required for content is a lot more intensive.
Hmm.
There's a lot more that has to happen there. Whereas when it comes to a PvP game, right, all the content is being generated by the players. So it's
Yeah, but you already have that audience, right? You already have that PvE audience from Destiny. Lean into it and
yeah,
do what you're good
right,
at,
totally.
right? I just
No,
think,
I totally agree.
yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like they missed the mark on it. I missed that, just like I missed that shot. Holy shit. Um, and the delay, I think the delay is good. It's indefinitely delayed. Hopefully they do something really interesting with it.
I hope they do too. I hope that they take a good pivot at what the game could actually be. I mean,
Like, speaking from someone who is not a extraction shooter player, so this can be taken any which way. Like, I don't play extraction shooters. Um, you could have a world where, um, you go in, you collect loot, you build out whatever gear you want, kind of like a an optimized, kind of like a build your own gear kind of thing, right? Like, not like Diablo
right.
insofar as like you know where to hunt and you make it hard as shit, similar to Tarkov, and you just play through it, and you have that sick ass gunplay.
Mhm.
And that's your gear leap. You have different maps, just similar to Tarkov. Like, they could have had, like, I don't know, man. The PvE and the gunplay in that game could have been so good. Ah, okay.
It could have been. There's definitely a lot of opportunity there. It is speaking. I think we're both kind of in the same boat as I want great PvE experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the types of games I look for when it comes to am I enjoying a game or not. Usually I look for great PvE experiences. So I for at least for my sake, I wish it was a PvE focused game. I
Oh,
do
for sure.
understand the
I would have played it.
complications with that. I would have too. I would have too. And like I said, the art style really appealed to me. I mean, even this whole corporate dystopia type thing, what a great idea. It's so cool. And I think I understand, where they're coming from and why they tried to make it an extraction shooter. I understand. I mean, Tarkov is old, so trying to fill a void that they might perceive being there
Mm-hmm.
is tempting, right? But I don't know. I don't personally. I don't see Bungie being that company to fill the void.
And to be clear, once again, um, Sony needs to do a live service push. Because there could be a world where, like, the Grand Theft Autos and the Fortnites are like, you know what? We're doing our own thing now, or we don't want to play on this system anymore, or something like that. Like, they make billions. 50% of their income comes from 30% rips off of games they don't own. So if that isn't crazy, uh, you know, that's really why they need to get into the live service push. I just think they need to do it differently. They need to do it the way Sony does it. Like, interesting
Yeah, they definitely
games,
do.
right? Like, and they already
Yeah.
started to do that with, like, Marvel Tokon Fighting.
Yes, they did.
So do more of that. Do more Sony shit. Don't try and copy other
I,
people.
I agree. I think that I we are definitely sorely lacking. It's just in the gaming sphere in general. We are sorely lacking creativity, ingenuity. Oh my gosh, I've been the fall master today. Um, in just in the gaming space. I mean,
I
it's we are playing. The companies are playing, and rightfully so. They want to protect their investment, but they're playing too safe.
How did you
They're
even
not.
get on there?
It's that's a good question. It's not a.
Oh shit! Now I understand.
Oh, that's hilarious. It's not a. it's a hard ask whenever video games and development companies have become so bloated and things have become so expensive to make, to say, you know what, we're going to take a risk and make something that we want to make, that
Mhm.
isn't guaranteed to make money. And I understand that the funding comes from people that want to make money. As sad as it is, I understand that. And the day and age of having creative studios create things that they want to make is unfortunately, for at least for the time being, gone until a smart investor starts taking risks with great artistic teams. Again, you know, we just won't. I don't know. We won't see. I mean, we used to see all kinds of crazy games that you're like, what even is, you know, like how many times did you play a game that you rented from Blockbuster and you're like, what the heck am I even playing? There's so many games that I don't have names for that I played, and I'm like, I don't even know what the heck I'm playing
I
because
agree
it was
with
just
you.
so strange.
I
But
agree with you. And Andrew said, it's like a lot of the issue is like it's like the Disneyfication of the industry, which I also agree with.
mhm.
I'm going to push back ever so slightly, and I think and say like once again, this is a drum I've beat multiple times. The Japanese gaming industry is fucking on it right now.
No, it is. It is. I think
um,
that, and
the,
just, I mean, even the Chinese gaming industry is also on it right now.
yeah, something I never would have
Uh,
thought I'd say.
I agreed. Agreed. So I think that it's we the Western world and Western society is definitely causing a
A lot
lot
of
of developmental issues
yeah, 100% agree.
when it comes to trying to make a video game. You have to be PC about everything. You have to you can't you have to make X amount of dollars or you're not going to be successful. There's so many restrictions when it comes to trying to do anything in the
Hmm.
Western world right now. I mean, people can't even speak their mind without being taken out of context anymore. So I completely understand. I mean, now just trying to write and create a video game in that type of environment, I understand the difficulties. So it's tough and it's sad to see, but it's the world we're in.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Western world has had a lot of issues, and that's why I kind of like and why I'm just so thoroughly enjoying a lot of what Japanese devs seem to be throwing at it. Like even like the Sony showcase where you have like Pragmata, you have like some
Yep.
weird ass roguelite. You know what?
Yep.
God, Sony showcase is everything I loved about video games in the old
Yes.
world.
Definitely. It definitely felt more akin to what we were kind of used to as children,
Mhm.
as getting unique experiences in a video game,
Mhm.
and getting to experience something that's you would just never get to experience again. That's why, once again, that's why why I like Death Stranding so much. It's a unique experience
Mhm.
that you're just not gonna find anywhere except for in a video game. Maybe, I mean, you could read a book very similar. There's some crazy books out there, but being able to play something like that, pretty rare nowadays, and that's why I think that's why it's so special and why it's being so critically acclaimed right now as
It
well.
really
So
it really is the reason why I loathe going to the movies like Andrew said. Like I don't remember the last time I've gone to the movies.
oh,
Um
I the last movie that I went to go watch in theaters was Top Gun, and I think before that, before I watched Top Gun in theaters, the last movie I saw was Ford versus Ferrari.
I think the last movie I saw in theaters was Deadpool and Wolverine. So a little more recent.
Yeah, so it's very, you're right, it's very similar. There aren't very many. I don't know. We're kind of in this weird kind of, I don't know, almost a creative dead zone almost of just recycling material.
Western it's all Western stuff, man.
You're right. It is. It is.
That's
I
why I'm
mean,
so excited. There's so many
what was
good
that?
games out there. You just gotta know where they are. Play the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Trails
You
games,
got to.
everyone. Please, just play the Trails games.
There you go.
Fucking
Exactly.
They're budget, but they're great. They got heart.
They got heart.
Got so much fucking heart.
I'm trying to think of what that that movie um Everything Everywhere All at Once. Such a great movie. Such a good idea. Like that it's that similar type of vibe or just interesting experiences that you don't see very often.
Cheeky little bastard. Yeah, I've never seen it. I don't watch a lot of movies. I kind of do like some of the TV that's being shown around lately, but now it's like it's getting all samey. Or you have people like Adi Shankar who thinks that they're God's gift of friggin' video game adaptations, which also pisses me off.
Yeah. I do feel like so not very recently, but we kind of as a friend group we do movie nights on Fridays.
Yeah.
And I wish that had always been a part of my life in general. I being able to connect, watch movies that I would personally never watch by myself, but as part of a group, and as part of a conversation. I wish that was a part of my life way beforehand. Because there's just so much value there. You spend time with friends. You're watching something unique. Like we've been watching a whole bunch of just crazy 80s movies lately that have just been so much fun to just watch and enjoy cinema. And that's something that I have never been a cinephile in any way, shape, or form. But there's so many times nowadays where I actively look for movies that I want to watch. Like I just never saw that in myself because I've never really been a movie person until I started having a group of people that I'm like, oh man, this would be so great to watch with somebody else. And enjoy with my friends type thing.
I will say I'm definitely not a movie buff, so I'm in that same kind of boat. I don't hate movies, so that's probably a strong word. But like,
see, I've never been a movie buff. I don't think that I specifically am a movie person. I think that I am a community movie watching enjoyer. I like conversing, having fun, enjoying watching movies with friends. I think that is definitely one of the things that I will never forget as a person. That I wish I would have always had.
Yeah. Yeah, and it actually kind of lets you appreciate some of that older content that
definitely.
That we don't really get anymore.
Well, especially and even it's kind of interesting, because as the internet has become more and more and more prevalent, people have become more and more isolated, right? It's a funny repercussion of being connected all the time, and you feel more and more alone. But and even more so that people are having collaborative conversations and understanding conversations with differing opinions so much fewer now than ever was before, because you can find your
clique,
your bubble. You can find your niche anywhere, right? You can look anywhere and find any opinion you want to find. If you want to find an opinion, you can find it on the internet, and it isolates you. It isolates your mindset. It isolates your opinions, and being able to be a part of a group of people that has constant communication and having differing opinions and watching movies you would never watch before in your life type thing. It's just those are the types of things I will never undervalue as a growing, living, breathing human being. I wish that upon everybody that everybody has that opportunity.
For sure. I definitely think there's a lot of places or like the world has become so intolerant of other opinions or differing opinions or anything like that. Now we can argue all day about why that's the case, but there's no real point in it. It's just
Sure.
I do think that I enjoy having people challenge me, not to the point where it becomes like the sole purpose of our
Not a,
relationship.
right, but I think that there's a healthy challenge, right? And there's more of a somebody that's trying to antagonize somebody type challenge. I don't
Mhm.
know if that's healthy, but somebody that's willing to have a legitimate back and forth conversation,
Mhm.
that's more valuable than you can. It's almost like gold nowadays. You almost cannot find somebody willing to have a conversation, be willing to have their thoughts and opinions challenged,
Mhm.
and be able to reciprocate that with their own and understand where people are coming from and see other sides of things anymore.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I know we kind of went way deep down that, but that's in general.
That's how we roll. Rabbit hole.
That's right, rabbit hole. Um, but in general, I think that if we wrap that back up into video games, really, I'm really excited for what the future brings. Though I am also tentatively worried because I feel that we're at a possible turning point where we can start to see change.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm afraid that the change isn't going to occur.
Yeah. I don't think there's any hope of change in the Western space until they get a real reality check. I mean, fuck. Microsoft is laying off people again for like the 6th or 8th quarter straight, essentially.
Yes.
So that's good, Microsoft. Good job. Thanks for that.
It is very, very sad. It's unfortunate that
This is the part of the podcast where we stop, where our responses get fewer and farther between because we're in the boss fight.
We're gonna fight this boss. This boss fight's crazy too.
Yeah, it was nuts. There's shit flying everywhere. Oh, and I just got hit. Oops, my bad. Um, yeah. So I think. Oh, one thing I wanted to. This man, we got so off track.
Yeah, we did. We really took an adventure there.
Screw Western video games. And also Nintendo for making sure that Trails Beyond the Horizon gets delayed. I'll never forgive you, Nintendo.
Now we've normalized $80 games.
Yeah. God, they've normalized $80
or
games.
$90 games.
Yeah. God, it's so expensive in Canadian dollars too, which makes it so annoying.
I am glad that I luckily don't have to worry about that too much, but even still, I think it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think we just need more. I don't know. I understand the price point and why people do it, but like, because games were stayed so cheap for so long relative to like inflation and stuff like that. Like they were $60 or whatever for a long time.
sure,
And then
but
they
you
were
also got to think, right? We're also in at the point where developers aren't having to worry about creating, or publishing companies don't have to worry about creating physical, physical boxes, physical CDs. They don't have to worry about the facilities to have to put together a make copies of all these discs and
I will
all
say
of that type
that
of
is
stuff.
literally cents on the dollar. That's like,
Sure.
oh, look at me just absorb all that.
All that. That was phenomenal. I don't know. I can't believe that just happened.
Look at me go. All right. You know what I actually miss, and it's so cheap to do, and I don't know why people don't do it. But, well, actually, I guess I do know why. Is like instruction manuals.
Oh yeah,
Like that literally costs like cents on the dollar to do.
but whenever you're making
Right.
X amount of them, right? You're now you're. I mean, the margins. I feel like everything is all about. You know, you look at you talk to your actuaries. How much risk is this? You know, there's so much risk assessment involved nowadays with
Mhm.
just about anything that it's like you can't even. I don't know. You can't even have a company make a plastic spoon anymore without saying, okay, well, what's our environmental impact? What's you know, what type of repercussions is going to do? Like, there's just so many variables nowadays that it's almost
Spoken like
impossible to
someone
make
who
a
works for a
decision.
steel company or something. Um, that was a good run.
It was a good run.
Um, in other news, um, and I just wanted to yap about it. I finished the Lies of P DLC the other day.
Ooh, I still need to play it. I still haven't played it.
It is so
I know that you
good.
said it was. I know you said it was shorter,
Is
which is
yeah, it's short. Like I think the whole game, including the DLC, because I basically went and started over again. The whole game, including the DLC, is like 30 hours.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah, that just sounds like something that I just need to take the time to play.
yeah, it's really good.
I have
Highly recommend.
I always tend to lean towards the longer experiences, but of course that clogs my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many times that I value games that, especially like, I mean, Expedition 33 really wasn't that long.
Oh, it was fantastic. Great length.
Um,
Yeah, I just finished
um,
playing Xenoblade. Fuck, that took me 90 hours to beat, and I didn't really do
yeah,
everything.
yeah. But yeah, I definitely want to check out what weapon did you decide to go with?
So, um, I went with the DLC. So the first, I did a strength build this time around, and
Mhm.
I went with the gunblade. I picked up and used the gunblade.
Cool.
And God, that like, the DLC weapons are phenomenal. I really think you should use those if you can.
So, do you access the DLC after
No, no,
the
no.
main story,
I
or
think it's
can
after like
you?
chapter 5 or something, like halfway or 2/3 of the way through the game, you can access the DLC. So you can actually like go in, get to the point, like to a point in the game where you're very comfortable playing the game,
Uh-huh.
and then access the DLC, beat the DLC, because I really think you should beat the DLC before you beat the game, just for story reasons.
Right.
Or you can go the other way, and um, then you can go and finish up the rest of the game with the DLC weapons, and that's kind of
Oh,
why I
that's
enjoy
cool.
it. Like that's really good. It's not like Elden Ring where I have to go through like an entire friggin'
Yeah, the
game
entire game to be
essentially.
able to get to the
Yeah,
yeah.
to get to the good shit.
I think that, uh, and that's kind of the thing, like kind of the Old Hunters DLC from Bloodborne,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a similar thing where getting the getting to the DLC kind of required a lot of playthrough of the original game, and so trying to get those DLC weapons to play uh, was quite a bit of uh, an investment in time to be able to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that sounds awesome that you can be able to get to that kind of stuff earlier on.
Highly recommend that DLC, or just that game in general.
Yeah, I
So
definitely want to check it out. I'm definitely a Bloodborne enjoyer, and this everyone said it plays very similar to Bloodborne. So
I think yeah, it's hard to say. It kind of does, and it kind of doesn't. It kind of plays like a really fucked up mix between Bloodborne and Sekiro.
okay, yeah.
Um,
Let's start it.
some of the bosses are okay. Some of the bosses are complete and utter bullshit, and some of the bosses are phenomenal. Matt and I were yapping about it briefly yesterday.
do
Um,
you have a Do you have a favorite Souls-like boss?
A favorite Souls-like boss? Not really. I guess I I would probably say something in the vein of somewhere in Kazan. Ooh, this gun's so good.
Yeah.
Kazan, I think, is uh somewhere where I would put that. Like I don't know if you've played the first Berserker,
I've not. That's also on my list.
but it is really good, and the bosses in that game and the feel of that game is so phenomenal. Um, I think that is probably my favorite, if not my favorite Soulsborne game. Period. My favorite Soulsborne like game.
Really? Okay.
Um,
That's high praise.
Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. And you feel like an absolute badass. You feel like you're in full control at the end. Like, I don't know, like it's up there probably with like um Sekiro as like just the get good meter is like you're popping off.
Yeah.
So
I loved Sekiro is probably one of my favorite. Other than Bloodborne is my favorite Souls-like game.
mhm.
Sekiro is probably my second favorite. I I loved both of those games.
There will be a Bloodborne remake one day.
One day we will see it,
I'm glad you're on the
and
copium
it'll be
train with me.
glorious. It'll be glorious.
God, I want that
I hope
game.
I hope it's a reality. I was really hoping that Bluepoint, that's what Bluepoint was working on. I was actually surprised that it wasn't what they were working on.
Dude.
So my hopes kind of got dashed quite a bit there. Whenever, we heard what they were working on, I was like, okay, well, that's unfortunate, but
This is the topic I was kind of gonna bring up before. Is like one of the defining moments of the generation. Xbox's pivot to third party, but I just feel like there's not enough to yap about, or like Xbox's pivot to third party is probably one of the defining moments of the generation, because they lost like the PS4 generation, which put them in this. So they tried to flip the table. That's essentially what happened. When you lose the game, you flip the table. That didn't work for them, so now they're trying something else, which is going third party. And when you own like half the industry, you can do that. But like one of the defining moments is the fact that Sony is making money hand over fist, despite the fact that they have completely botched the management of their studios to an insane degree. So like Bluepoint, like having Bluepoint work on whatever the God of War like live service game, that's an abomination. First of all, but like
why would you have that studio? Of all the types of games to have Bluepoint work on, like just the same as Bungie working on an extraction shooter. It boggles the mind. Or Bungie working on Anthem. Right? Wasn't that a Bungie game?
No, that was BioWare.
Oh, BioWare. I'm thinking BioWare. Yeah. But yeah, same thing. BioWare working on a live service Anthem game. Like, and I was on the team that I really wanted Anthem to be great. The setting looked awesome.
The setting looked awesome. Honestly, it played pretty fun for all things considered. It did play
pretty fun. It just wasn't. They did not have enough time because they had to pivot so many times to make that thing even into a game, to the point where the investment was so high. I mean, it might as well have been a I can't remember. What's the name of the game that got canceled within 2 weeks?
Oh, I can't remember. Concord.
Yeah, Concord. And it kind of almost would have been a Concord, or even was a Concord situation, because
that's definitely up there with like one of the most botched things in this generation. And in spite of that, Sony's still making so much goddamn money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is just an insane stat.
It really is. To be able to make that large of a mistake and just be able to be like, yeah,
and shrug it
uh,
off.
and just just completely tank it.
I do think
just move on to the next.
I do think that's why Herman Hulse got demoted. Well, I say in air quotes, but he was demoted. He was co-CEO. He's not co-CEO anymore. Like it or not, that's a demotion.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
right. You're right.
So that's why he got demoted. Even though it was, I think Shuhei Yoshida maybe have greenlit that game. I don't remember if he did or not, because he said Concord looked good at first. God, that was such a colossal mistake.
It was.
And
I mean,
you know what?
They were trying to get that Destiny feel out of it, right? So
well, it was a lot of ex Bungie devs, right? So like, yeah, you could do it. And I heard it was fun enough to play. It's just like,
yeah,
the characters are kind of doo-doo, and I think, at the end of the day, they kind of botched that. They're still making so much fucking money. Oh god, I can't believe it. I can't believe they're basically getting away with highway murder, which is fine, I guess. If you can get away with it, get away with it. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because that game technically should not have been a risk, right? And I don't know. It's really strange because I feel like everyone hired the same risk management firm, and they were like, you know what the safest bet is right now for your dollar? Live service X. Live service X. You know what I mean? And every single studio everywhere was making live service X. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it and maybe they weren't banking on everyone being like, you know what, we're making a live service game. Well, we're making a live service game, and everybody just started making live service games. And obviously, it was like, okay, well, we don't have enough time to play any of these games. So it is pretty funny that's kind of how that ended up. But
I will say too, and this is going to sound like I'm beating just absolutely slaughtering a dead horse. But if this never would have happened with a Japanese studio head or Japanese lead like this, the best.
You say that, but I mean, like Squaresoft like almost died, right?
So did you see? So Nobuo Uematsu stated today, or it was in an interview recently, that Squaresoft almost died when Sakaguchi left. Basically, their leader, like the father of Final Fantasy, left Squaresoft, and that company almost died, or Square Enix, and that company almost died because of it.
Yeah,
which is like a testament to how like creative visionaries really do run video game companies. And to your point, I do think Square is like the most Western of devs, of Japanese devs right now, to the point where
you're probably right.
They do feel a little more bankrupt creatively compared to like some of the other studios.
I mean, honestly, the fact that the remake project got the green light, it actually astounds me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but also on top of that, it's like I hate their lofty expectations. They're constantly like, "Oh yeah, Final Fantasy underperformed." Like, bro, you sold 3 million copies in less than a week, in a weekend.
Yeah.
What the fuck does performing look like to you?
What do you? Yeah. What else do they need to do? It's unfortunate that those types of expectations are put on it, but I am very glad that the project exists.
Oh, it's gonna be so good, dude! I can't wait. And I think they did say they learned I just think I ran off the edge. They learned a lesson from what's it called? Claire Obscure being so popular. I hope it wasn't.
I hope so.
I hope it wasn't the wrong lesson.
I hope you're right. I hope it also wasn't the wrong lesson. I hope the lesson was, hey, unique turn-based experiences are still fun. That's what I hope. I hope that that's what the takeaway was. I hope that the takeaway wasn't, let's add parry mechanics to turn-based. I really hope that's not the takeaway that anybody anywhere took from that game. Because if anything about that game, and I said that before, if anything about that game was not great, or if there's something about the game that I did not like the most, it's the parry mechanic.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the thing that's the thing I disliked about the game the most.
Yeah.
Everything else was great. The best, I mean, honestly, the fact that you could build your characters into all kinds of crazy stuff, that's the best part.
And then all that building didn't matter though if you didn't parry. If you hit the
yeah,
right parry
exactly. It's exactly right. It didn't matter how you built your character. If you weren't parrying stuff, well, too bad. You're just you're gonna die. And so I hope that the takeaway was, let's build unique turn-based experiences with great stories, and profit, because there's obviously an audience out there for it.
I just hope they I hope they don't fuck with Final Fantasy VII's combat as a result of this.
I hope they don't either. I don't think they will. I think that's probably already set in stone.
What else? I
think that's something to the side.
God damn it. Yeah. So, but
oh my gosh,
if you want good games, good Western games, play some Falcom games. Play Capcom is in a renaissance. Capcom, please bring back Breath of Fire. For the love of God,
I would love to see. I would love to see just. I don't care if it's just a new like reimagining of Breath of Fire or a sequel, whatever the heck. I would love to see Breath of Fire come back.
There is a German, I think German. Or, there's a European dude. There's a European dude making a game called Tears of Magic.
Yeah.
Which looks like the spiritual successor to Breath of Fire. It's just a single dude doing the game though, so it's gonna take fucking a hot minute. But, yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, look into that when you get a hot second, because it's gonna be a thing. It looks really good. I follow the guy. I didn't back it. I don't do Patreon or not. I don't do Kickstarter very often.
Like Kickstarter stuff. Yeah.
The only time I do is when I'm playing, or the only time I did it was for, what's that one called? Iga's game, Bloodstained.
Oh yeah. I haven't backed a video game project. I've backed a lot of board game projects because unfortunately, Kickstarter is about the only way that you can find
good board games,
unique board game projects. So
I've backed both Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. So
I did too. I did too, and it was worth it.
Yep, 100%. Here's green sludge in your eye.
And I understand the necessity to have something like that, at least for companies, for board game company. I don't know. I do like the crowdfunding aspect for independent developers that are trying to find funding for themselves and not have to be beholden to a giant publishing company, right?
Well, the spiritual successor to both Wild Arms and Shadowheart, I think it was on Kickstarter.
Really?
Yeah, made by those two guys. It's not doing so hot right now, I don't think. Which is,
I think that the problem is that a lot of video game projects overpromised to the point where people are just kind of spooked.
I also think that you just don't go in together with two games, right? You don't want to back. I don't want to back two games. I want to back one game. I want to back, the Wild Hearts game. Don't get me wrong. I love Shadowheart. Or Wild Arms, not Wild Hearts. Don't get me wrong. I loved Shadowheart.
You like Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, I love Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3. Like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Shadowheart's Covenant. It was a great game.
Yeah.
But it's no Wild Arms.
It is no Wild Arms.
I can pick this one up. And yeah, let's fix one of these. There we go. Let's see what's behind this door. So yeah, I just want more turn-based projects. But like I'm good.
I do too.
I have the Trails games.
Yeah,
So-
and I also have the Trails games. Luckily, I've got a whole slew of Trails games I get to play through.
Andrew, you should just play the Trails games. I don't even. Does he even play JRPGs? Am I just wasting?
He doesn't play single player games.
What?
Or he doesn't play narrative. I don't want to speak for him, but he doesn't play a lot of.
He can
single
speak for
player
himself.
games.
We can
That
talk
would be the
trash
best
about him.
way.
He just can't respond.
That's right. That's true. That's true. He
He
doesn't play a lot of a lot of single player experiences. He's more of a multiplayer enjoyer, which I understand, right?
That's a very social. He's a social gamer. I get it.
I think the problem with a lot of multiplayer projects is that they are okay. They're just usually they're really janky. The best way to put it. Usually a lot of multiplayer projects are usually like they're not well thought out. They have interesting ideas, but they don't follow through. And usually it's like there's just something completely crazy going on with them. Like or it's always a survival game, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh god, I fucking hate survival games.
I will say there are a lot of times where I've had some phenomenal experiences playing survival games.
The only time I have was when I was playing Valheim, but like I just you know what, you play one, you play them all or something like that. I would love to see a survival game where a lot of the combat in said survival game had like a massive skill ceiling, so I could go in and just like absolutely curb stomp someone with like badass combos that I have no business curb stomping.
Right.
Like that's what I would love to see. So if you see a game like that, then I'm on board.
I really want there to be an actual like co-op like dungeon crawling. There hasn't really been something like that you play through a game and you I mean, I guess Elden Ring co-op is maybe the closest thing that we've had. Oh gosh, this is terrible.
No. Seamless co-op?
Yeah, I think seamless co-op is probably the closest thing you have to just adventuring around in a world, finding dungeons and exploring dungeons and stuff like that. There aren't very many games that are like that, surprisingly enough. I feel like there would be a huge audience for something like that.
And that's why I wish Night Rain didn't exist. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
TED Talk completed. Yeah, there aren't very many just go adventure around and find dungeons and clear dungeons type thing. And it actually surprised me. I feel like that would be a simple formula for something that unless I'm just completely missing something and maybe there is a game out there for that, but I don't think I've ever seen a game like that out there for me.
I don't think there is an experience like Elden Ring seamless co-op.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be Elden Ring seamless co-op. I mean, it could be a co-op turn-based game and you're building your character and you guys go on an adventure and you hit a random encounter and you're all doing a turn-based fight. Like I don't care. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 of course kind of does that, but I just mean in general there aren't very many games like that. It just surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 was so good because the multiplayer experience was great for one, but I mean the single player story was phenomenal as well, but I think the co-op aspect of it really helped sell that game as well.
I think Baldur's Gate 3. So you're playing through it, I think, right now with a group.
Yeah.
So I'm playing through it as well with a group, and the co-op just makes that playthrough so much more fun because like you just do definitely. you do some random ass crap and it's just funny and. I don't know. It just makes it makes the game. So I think I have a lot of fun doing that. Right now we're trying to break our friend's oath. I don't know if we can, but we're trying. We're trying our darndest.
we so yeah, I played through Baldur's Gate single player, love the game, but the multiplayer experience is definitely just an an aspect of the game that's just so much fun.
Mm. We need more games like
That
that.
we really do.
More
I think
co-op
we
games,
just need
really.
more co-op games that I don't know. I just want more co-op experiences that are built for groups. Oh,
Yep.
I think I'm gonna get hurt.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, and that's why I like the beat 'em up games. We can invite more people. Oh yeah, we can invite even more people to this type of thing. Like, one of the games that we're definitely going to be playing when it comes out is like, the Marvel game, the Marvel fighting or the Marvel beat 'em up game by Dotemu.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're totally gonna play that game.
I mean, it's actually there's so many like cool like when I say co-op game, I mainly meant like a co-op story game.
Yeah, like a
like
a AAA experience.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I actually there's so many like smaller co-op experiences that we can enjoy. Like I can't wait because I haven't really been able to do that before. So being able to do something like that will be a lot of fun. So
it's gonna be good. What time is it?
It's gonna be so good. I don't know.
Oh, it's late.
What time is it?
It's 12:30. We've been going for 3 hours, I think. Yeah, 3 hours.
We've been talking. We went down a lot of rabbit holes.
Yeah, this is a good show. Well, I think this is a good spot to end the show. I don't have anything else I'm gonna yap about right now. Do you? You good?
Oh, I'm good. I think I've steered this boat all over the place.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I rather enjoyed the random direction it's gone. You know what? We're gonna keep this show going until I finish this area because I can't pause the goddamn game. So, oh, no,
I feel like
so that'll be one problem solved.
Oh well, I've reached the critical late night point where I'm having a difficult time responding to red laser beams.
I'm having a difficult time like hitting the reload button. God, this game is so good. I can't believe we got like
we had such
a good. Oh, there we go. Problem solved.
Yeah. we did it. We had a couple of really good runs tonight. Oh, we got through what, 2 bosses tonight?
We got through 1 boss and almost through us.
Oh, that's right. We almost got the platform boss. That's right. That's right.
And that's about as far as I've made it in this game. So.
Oh yeah,
fantastic game.
Yeah, it really is.
How many more bosses after this? 2 more.
So we have 1 boss left for this phase, and then we have another 3 bosses for the next phase.
Wow. Is there more weapons like?
Yeah. There's more weapons as you go.
So cool.
Yep.
So far, I love the slime weapon.
More and more. Oh, and by the way, you want to spend your ether at this pillar here because it unlocks. It unlocks more and more stuff as you go. Yeah.
I need to. I haven't been able to find much ether, but I will do that. I'll hold on to the ethers. So, anyways, this has been our midlife crisis.
It has been.
Yeah.
I feel closer and closer it is approaching. But
dude,
these talks are preventing it.
The irony being that I'm having another child in the not so distant future. So.
Yep.
So, anyways, thank you everybody for joining, and have a good night.
See ya.
That's fun.
Yeah, a lot of